But a person that's trying to hide that or hide from that, I say it's a bitch. You're supposed to be this strong dude. You want to fight everybody. You want to beat people up. You this real tough dude. But you lying to your girl. Why are you lying? What are you afraid of? Why would you lie to her? If you are a man, you do not need to lie because you already know what the consequences are. So you go, okay, either I'm gonna accept them or I'm not gonna accept them. But if I'm lying, I'm trying to hide. They put the clap on one, but so let me see. I finally do this. Okay, so Bamboo Project Podcast. I forgot what I did last time. I wanted to do a situation where the date was towards the end of it. Okay, boom. So I remember. So you can find us on Instagram at the Bamboo Project Podcast.
Who are you?
Okay, let me try it again. All right, do that again. I'm write that on there. Put name. Put name at the top.
The Bamboo Project Podcast, live from New York, starts in 3, 2.
Okay, so for some people, this is your first podcast. My name is Donovan Gray, and welcome to the Bamboo Project Podcast. You can find us on Instagram at the Bamboo Project _podcast. All the Instagrams that we have will be in the description on if you're listening to it, it'll be in the descriptions, or if you're watching it on YouTube, it'll also be in the descriptions. So we have a food page, we have a clothing page, we have a fitness page, we have a music page, we have a sports page, and we have our own Instagrams. Mine is Donovan Gray, DONIVANGRAY. Melissa's is Anita Byrne, ANETABURN. I just want to let y'all know that was fire. That's my first time doing this shit like that. That shit was elite. The people that know that shit was like, ooh, that shit was fire. So that was that. So we have a fitness page because for me personally, I'm on an electric diet right now, and I want to show that I can become brolic while being on an electric diet. So then it'll encourage other people to want to become healthy, a healthier way, and still look the way you want to look and have more energy. So you can go and follow the food page for that, and the fitness page to see Melissa's journey when she was working out. She worked out 160 days in a row. You can see her transformation from the beginning to the end on the fitness page. We have a clothing page. Oh, actually, we have a clothing page. We're going to have our own brand. We're going to have our own merch and things like that. And our own handmade clothes by Melissa. The sports page has been put on hold because of the whole corona pandemic that we have happening right now. So that'll be coming to you guys later. And what else? We had the music. The music is kind of put on hold a little bit, not as much as just taking the back burner to the other things that we're doing right now. So that's where we are right now. And I want you guys to know, free consultations. I had one this morning with my cousin. I charge her $300 a second, but for you guys, it's going to be free. She had a situation happening with a guy that she's talking to, and I just gave her some advice for her, just to kind of help her get through her own thoughts. Because I think a lot of people have a problem with being honest because it's being vulnerable, and I think that you get the best results when you're vulnerable. And I always say that strength doesn't come from not feeling anything. It comes from having feelings and still going through and fighting through those feelings. And I think a lot of people, mostly guys, think that if I pretend like I don't feel pain, girls too, they feel like, okay, that's me being tough, that's me being strong. And it's like, no, if you don't feel any pain, then what strength do you have if you don't feel it? But I think to be able to feel and endure pain and continue to push on, that's real strength. So all the timestamps for the video will be in the description as well as the audio. So if you're listening to it on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, then you can go into the description to click to where you want to watch the video at. Today is July 7th, 12:41 p.m. For everybody that knows that's been here who are not, first timers, we try to start the podcast at 10 o'clock. Today we started late, extra late, but I don't feel as bad about starting late anymore because it's kind of a situation now where we have all the things down packed that we do. Like, we already know what we need. The thumbnail takes 3-4 minutes to do. We have all the settings. Actually, another thing too, if you listen to our old podcast, something that kept happening on the computer would be that while we're actually recording, the computer would shut off, or it would go to it would have the security question or the password come up. So because of that, I wouldn't know if the GarageBand stopped recording. And I kept thinking I was changing it by putting my energy saver on, 10 hours or never. That wasn't the problem. The problem I had to fix, which I found out today, was that I have to change the amount of time it takes for the computer to lock itself. And that's the main problem. So that's fixed. So like I said, every week we're trying to get better and better and better. So like I said, that should never happen again. And we're going to see how that goes. So one thing about the Bamboo Project podcast, or the Bamboo Project in general, is we want to get better all the time. We have a situation where it's about maintaining and growing. So you have to maintain what you're already doing, then build on top of that so you can grow. And I feel like that's the easiest way to become better at something. So for us right now, over the last week, I didn't go to work all last week. I took off the week because my bike wasn't working. So during that week, we went shopping. Melissa got some new shoes. I'm post a picture right here. Oh, let me see. I could probably look at the camera on my phone and see to put my hand where the picture would be. That's gonna be fire for the video.
Don't do that.
Why not?
It messes with me because it has to like switch between.
So right now it's black?
No, but it went black before, and I was like, oh shit, did it start recording?
Okay.
I don't think it did. I don't know.
All right. So how am I just?
Lower.
This seems fine. Yeah. Okay. So right here's gonna be Melissa's shoe that she got for while we went shopping. She got shoes, sandals. We also got a printer. The printer is for the Bamboo Project clothing. And that's because Melissa, like I said, makes clothes from scratch. So if you can print out the patterns that help you to cut and sew the pieces that you want, then it becomes easier to sew and make more clothes. So that's what we're doing now. So we have a printer right over here. What else? Something else last week I've been working on. Fractional investing, right? So nobody has an excuse anymore for not investing any money. You have money that you have any kind of money. People that like to smoke weed, go drink, whatever you like to do, eat McDonald's, any of those things, right? Fractional investing allows you to put $5 or $10 into a stock and get money from it. So you can put $10 a week, $100 a week, $100 a day, whatever you can pay to do. But it's better to start doing something so at least you can get acclimated to understanding how stocks work. I'm tired of people talking about, oh my God, this man has too much money. It's not fair. And everybody's so rich and I want to be rich. And listen, start investing. I use Cash App. So I started putting it $100 a week into Cash App starting last week. And every time I put $100 in, I put $10 into different stocks. So right now I have some Amazon, I have Apple, I have Facebook, I have Netflix, I have Microsoft. I got, I read them off right now. I'm gonna go back and read them again for all the ones that I have, because I feel like people are always scared to invest in stocks. And it's like, just put the money in and see what happens. Just because it's like, at the end of the day, it could be a game. And a lot of people aren't really saving money either way. So this is a good way to at least save money and understand how stocks work to some degree. To get your feet wet. Where is this? So right now, down 482 right now. 4.82%. My stocks are down. So I made I put $10. I put $20 into Square now. I put $10 in last week and $10 in today. So I'm going to read you all the stocks that I have invested and how much I made from the stocks in the last 2 days, and you can do the math. Or I'll put it on the screen probably, depending on how I feel like editing later. So I have $20 in Square. I made $1.20. I have $20 in Tesla. I made 79 cents. I have $20 in Microsoft. I made 32 cents. I have $20 in Amazon. I made 32 cents. I have $20 in Netflix. Did I make $20 in Netflix? I feel like I don't. 24. Am I saying $24 that I made? Is that what I'm saying? Am I saying 24 cents? Am I saying cents?
I don't know.
Okay. I'm gonna read it again because I don't know if I was saying cents or not. Then my American Airlines is not. Ooh, Jesus. I feel like my other stocks is. We'll come back to that. Okay, so. Let me see. Daily percent change. No. My total investment value. Okay, so this is better. So in Square, I made $1.18. In Tesla, I made 77 cents. In Amazon, I made 33 cents. In Microsoft, I made 32 cents. In Alphabet, which owns Google, I made 22 cents. In Apple, I made 17 cents. Netflix, I made 24 cents. Facebook, I made 23 cents. AT&T, I made 3 cents, and I lost 6 cents in Gilead Sciences, which is supposed to be the company that's gonna produce the vaccine for the coronavirus or the pandemic. I'm gonna start using that word instead. I lost 9 cents at Home Depot. I lost 14 cents in Alibaba. I lost 15 cents in Target, and I lost 16 cents in JP Morgan. And that is $200 I put into the stocks. So overall, I don't know what the exact number would be. I have to do the math again to see how much I actually gained or lost from those stocks specifically. And maybe I'll put that on the screen or do the math at the end of the podcast. So that's fractional investing. Now, also last week, me and Melissa were not touching for all of last week. Right? That means no physical contact. That means no hugging. That means no kissing. That means don't tap my shoulder. Don't pick my pimples. Nothing. Right? It started off because I was annoyed with her over something that was happening. I'm trying to figure out the most honest way to say it. I feel as though Melissa was trying to overpower me. That's the best way to put it, right? And yes, that's the best way that I would word. That's the most honest and basic way that I can word that. And I felt like I had to take a step back because I felt like she was stepping over the line too many times and too often. And when I say stepping over the line, it's not things that people would. It's not like blatant disrespectful things. It'd be something little as like if I'm using my phone, she'll want to grab my phone to show me something on the phone, right? It's something like that. It's just little tiny things. I'm like, okay, this is happening a lot. Then she would start snapping, and it would be snapping back in more of her tone was different. So I'm like, okay, something is happening. I don't know what's causing her to act like this. I'm not sure what it is, but I'm like, it's annoying me, and the power that I have is to control over myself. So I decided, okay, I don't have to touch her and hug her. If I don't feel like doing that, I'm not going to do that. That's how it started off as. Then that was going to be, I just felt like that for the day. I'm like, I need my space. I need my time to just kind of like to recalibrate, because I know that if I'm in a bad mood and she'll hug me or something like that, if it happens a lot of times, like in a day, I will not feel bad about whatever I was feeling bad about. And that may be good or it could be bad. However, I know that for me, if I want to know why I'm upset, and I don't think that being hugged just because I feel bad doesn't mean the problem went away. So I want to be able to assess what the problem is and then fix it, as opposed to just feel like, okay, I feel better, the problem went away, or I don't feel as bad about the problem anymore. So I decided, I'm just gonna just take a step back. No hugs, no kisses. We still talk, conversation, joke, laugh, watch TV, everything else, help each other, whatever the case might be, but just no physical touching. And it started off for like that day when I went to work. Then I said to myself, you know what, do it for a week. I'm like, no physical contact for a week and see what happens. I don't know what's going to come from it. It turned out that multiple things came from it. The first thing that came from it, which I've talked about on previous podcasts where we broke up, which, I think that might be in the podcast while we broke up, which is episode 6. Can you find that for me? What episode that is? While we broke up. And in that podcast, I talked about how when you live with somebody, especially when you live with somebody, not as much as when you don't live with your significant other, try having a time period where you don't touch each other at all. It does not have to be a bad thing. It does not have to be like you're mad at someone, but just don't touch each other. And the conversation changes. You guys have different kinds of conversations. It also exposes the holes in your relationship, because a lot of times what people will do, guys and girls, when they can't have a conversation anymore, or they feel like maybe I'm too dumb to continue talking about this, they'll just try and hug you and kiss you and lay on you and turn it into a physical interaction as opposed to an intellectual one. And I don't like that. I don't like if I'm talking to somebody and they feel like they're dumb and now they want to hug me and hold me because they can't talk about whatever we're talking about anymore. And it happens. And I'm pretty sure it happens in other situations where a girl don't like what you're saying, so they want to hug you to stop talking about it. Or they want to have sex with you because they feel like if we have sex, then we'll stop talking about the thing that he's upset about. And I'm like, nah, I want to address the problem. We have sex afterwards, but I want to address this problem before we have sex. So you realize how how weak the relationship is when you guys remove the physical capacity or the physical compartment of the sex of the relationship. So I learned that, and like I said, that happened last time. And you get horny. Like I would get turned on just by her if she walked past me and her shoulder brushed me, or we're laying in the bed and her leg touched my foot. Like I would feel myself like whoa, Jesus, what was that? Like, and it could just be a regular foot touching my leg or her arm touching my shoulder, just something small as that. So then afterwards, we ended up at the end of the week. I wanted to have sex so badly. Like I was like, yo, I want you badly. And I think that comes from having that long period of not touching each other. Episode 4 was why we broke up. So when that happens, I think it's almost like they have with like abstinence type of thing where you just have to push off things. It's about not having that instant gratification. So I think that helped with that. I also think that you have a timer on for this? What's the time?
Maybe like 15.
Okay, that's fine. So what else was I saying? Oh, right. So I think it's good to have that. Also, another thing that I don't like that Melissa would do is if she feels like, which is kind of what I just said, but if she feels bad about something. So let's say she's working on editing a video. She'll hug me to make herself feel better about editing the video or whatever is bothering her, whatever uncomfortable feeling she has from editing, like whether it be, exhaustion, whether it be, I wouldn't call it depression, but just feeling upset that she's not getting what she wants done, or it's hard to do because it's a lot of editing for the hours of the video. She'll want to hug me and kiss me and lay on me, right? And the problem I have with that is I'd rather her get that strength from herself. I'd rather her be able to double down and buckle down to be able to go, okay, I don't feel good right now about what I'm doing, but I need to get it done. I want to get this thing done before I go and hug him and lay on him and stuff. Because the reason I don't like that, because I would say it's being disingenuous, because you don't really want to hug me. You're hugging me so that you can either not think about the work that you were doing, or I'm being used as a scapegoat to not deal with the problem that you have at hand. And I don't like that, because then it becomes like a needy dynamic. I'd rather her feel like she's done with the work, and if she wants to hug me afterwards, then it's like, okay, I'm done. Whew, I felt good. Now I want to hug you. I don't really like to be hugged when the person feels bad. I prefer to be hugged when the person feels good. I'd rather be able to deal with those problems themselves before they want to have that physical interaction, because I want the person to deal with it on their own before having to come to me for that. So that's why I not the physical part, I don't mind the conversation about it, because then we can actually figure out what the problem is. But it's like, if you're mad about something and then you hug me, the problem didn't go away. So we didn't figure out the problem. You didn't address the problem. You just hugged me and now you feel better and the problem is still there. So that's why I don't really like that. She also got a lot of things done. I feel like when I took away my power by saying, when I took my power and said, you know what, I don't want to hug you. I don't want to touch you. I don't want anything like that. No kisses or anything. I think it took a burden off of her of feeling like she has to do those things. Because sometimes I feel like Melissa might think that she has to be or do girlfriend things. And I would rather her be herself and not feel like, well, a girlfriend should be hugging and kissing her boyfriend and jumping on him when he comes in the house. And I don't want her to feel obligated to do those things. I'd rather her feel like I'm happy and he's here, I want to hug him type of thing, as opposed to, okay, let me just do this thing. So I felt like now when she would walk by me, she didn't feel like she had to hug me. She didn't feel like she had to kiss me and do what you see on TV that girlfriends do. And I felt like it seemed to me it was kind of like a refreshing feeling for her. I don't know if she noticed it or not. And I feel like she can think more about herself. She could be more her own head about, what can I do today? What am I going to do later? Things like that. Do you feel like that at all? She said yes. Okay, so she said she did feel like that. So she also got a lot of things done. Last week she edited 3 videos. She went out with her friend to do a photo shoot. One of the videos was like 3-4 hours long to edit. In terms of the video itself was 3 or 4 hours. She had to edit it down to 30 minutes. Do you know which video that was? That was the Coca-Cola behind the scenes video of my commercial behind the scenes. Go check that out. So on the YouTube page. So what else was I saying? Right. Facts. She did 3 videos in that 1 week. She went out with her friend to a photo shoot. You went somewhere else too, I think. We went shopping. So she spent a whole day in the city shopping. Then she had cooked for the week, so I had food every day for the week. It was something else that you had did too.
Made a skirt.
She made a skirt, which I'm gonna post a picture of that right here too. Can you see it? Can you see the
Lower.
So there's a picture of the skirt. You can see that on the clothing page. So she had a very productive week, and I feel like another thing that happens too, when you start to lay on people and hug them and things like that, you feel more complacent and you feel like you don't have to work anymore. You feel good, so you don't want to work that hard. And I don't think that's good. I'd rather us feel like that when we already have money coming in and us not working for the money, like us not actually going out and working to get the money. I don't mind laying down with my girlfriend if everything is already done. Like that's cool with me. I don't like to lay down and while I'm laying down with her, I'm thinking, okay, I gotta do this, I gotta do that, I gotta do this, I gotta do that. Or did I do this? Did I do that? I'm not actually present with her at that time. I don't really like feeling like that. So that's why I was like, you know what? I'd rather us not do this and then see what happens. And I didn't plan for any of those things to happen. I just say, you know what? Let's do this. I'm gonna do this, and we'll see what comes from it. And I think it gave her what?
Yeah, because what he meant to. Well, what he's saying is, because I think it needs to be clarified, Melissa was not aware of Donovan doing this. Donovan had this conversation in his head about what he was doing, and all I knew was for the week that he was not touching me.
Right. So
every day I would try to hug him. The next day I would try, and I would get a shoe to the face. I fell off the bed one time.
I didn't shoot anybody to the face. But one thing that I also want to mention too is because a lot of times people let their insecurities come through, and they let their problems come through their actions and their sentences and their words. And an example of that would be, or the reason that I say that is because when she would ask me why I'm doing it, I wouldn't tell her why, because I didn't want her to think, okay, all I gotta do is hold out for a week and then I'll be fine. Because every day she'll think to herself, okay, one more day, I can just do one more day, I'm gonna do one more day. I'd rather her think we would never hug again and then she just do what she wants to do. I'd rather it be that kind of concept, because I don't want her working for my approval. I don't want her to work to feel like, okay, if I do this, Donovan will hug me. And she tried certain things to do that, and I'm like, cause she tried doing Duolingo. I don't know if she thinks that I didn't see that. And I'm just like,
that's not for you.
Sure, it was a 2-day streak. I ain't see that this streak.
Third day is the day we went shopping.
Right. It's like I said, and that was that last week. So she started doing things that she thought that I would be like, okay, yeah, she's doing things, I want to hug her now. And it's like, nah, I don't. That has nothing to do with it. I want you to be confident in yourself and be able to say, I don't want to hug you, Donovan. I don't feel like hugging you today. Fine. Or Donovan, I don't want to hug right now. I'm working on this. Fine. I want my girlfriend to be like that. I don't want her. What?
Or like when he don't watch the whole series without me.
What series is that?
Tell him no. The Order.
Oh yeah, a great show, by the way. The Order on Netflix, amazing.
He don't watch the whole thing without me. I have to tell him no because I have to edit it.
Right? And I would prefer my girlfriend to have that ability to be like, yeah, I love my man. Yeah, I want to be with him and have sex right now. But I got things I got to do. I have my own life that I have to have. I have to make sure that I'm good. And then when I'm finished with this, then I'll go and, jump on his lap and do all the type of other stuff that she wants to do. So that's that. And so then we had sex at the end of the week. Whew, she was fire. She was fire. I don't know if I said this too. Melissa's head game. Probably, I'm going to say like top. Right now, I want to say she definitely top 2. And the only reason I say top 2 because I haven't really processed if she's number 1 or not. Because a couple of weeks ago on the podcast, I talked about her head game, and I'm like, she was not hitting. It was not.
That I was bad at head. That I was bad.
Bad.
You called me bad.
Not hitting.
You called me terrible.
I mean, listen. You go back to that podcast, you go watch it and find out why I said that. So she changed some things, and I enjoy it a lot. Like, it's amazing. So, like I said, the only reason I haven't given her a number 1 spot yet, because I have not thought about it. Because it's only one other person who can compete with what she's doing, but she's better than everybody else. That's for sure. She's definitely top 2. We're gonna figure out where she is on that list. But right now, she went from like tier 2, number 3 to tier 1 or 2. So like I said, so fire. The sex was fire that day. We had sex again the next day, and it was fire again. I'm like, this shit is. I'm fucking with this sex. This is amazing sex, and we only had it at night after everything we did during the day was finished. So I don't know how that will be going forward because I wasn't working all last week, and we'll see if I'm tired at night now. But I'll be wondering her when I get home. So we're gonna see. And what else I was gonna say about that? Oh, so that's one of the reasons I think I woke up kind of late today is because we've been having like a little bit of a lot of sex, and I felt like overlapped into today, and that's why I'm like my body is still drained and I'm like recouping. So I woke up at like almost 9 o'clock, which never happens. So now talk to podcast. Today's episode is going to be about a guy. Oh, actually, before I get to that, so one thing I want to do for Twitter, not Twitter, for you scroll down, that I want to do for the podcast is I have questions that I want to ask to people. I'm not going to really talk about it much. I'm going to present the question just for people who are listening to think about it themselves and come up with their own answer, because I don't think people ask themselves these questions. So one question that I have is mask, right? This is my question for you guys. No, that's not on there. Oh, is it on there? Yeah, it can go up. It's fine. Yeah. So first question I have is mask, right? Boom. When will you decide that you will no longer wear a mask? Okay, that's the question I have for you. So ask yourself, who decides when you stop wearing a mask, and when do you decide that you no longer want to wear a mask? That's the first question. Okay. Now, second question. I don't know how to word this, but if I have it written like this: am I misogynist? Right? Because I hate when I'm watching a show, and out of nowhere they give a female the lead role, right? And it seems like an agenda where they just have a bunch of women becoming the lead role in shows that already exist. It's not like they have a show that's new and she's the lead role. It's we have a show and we're gonna make this woman the person who runs the show now without any real reason as to why, other than she's a woman. Okay? So my question is, how do you feel about that? Do you feel that same way? Have you noticed this? What was the other thing? I think it might have been it. I might have another one. And then the last two things I want to say was a recap of last episodes was that the reason that other black men shouldn't date white women or other people is so that if they get divorced, the money does not be split with the other races. So same thing with my dad. If he was married and he passed away, the money would go to her. And if they got divorced, she gets half the money if he makes more money than her, which usually tends to be the case with men, from what I've seen. There's a new situation coming up with teachers choosing your job or your child where they don't know if they're having some new thing about kids can only be in school every 2 weeks or once a week for 2 weeks. It's some crazy shit. Look that up. Look into it about kids only being able to go to school for like 4 days in a week, and then they can't go to school the next week, and they do that kind of thing. Look into that. And one of the sentences I said last week, I'm going to correct it. So I used to have sex with black girls easier than I did with Spanish women, and I used to date Spanish women more. And I realized at a young age that I would have sex with black girls. I didn't know that's because I only wanted to have sex with them, and I felt like I had to date a Spanish woman to have sex with them. And I think that's kind of what it was. I felt like black girls were willing to have sex with me faster than Spanish women were, and I felt like I had to date the Spanish women to be able to have sex with them. So that's that. So that's that stuff. That's the recap. Now, episode 16. Melissa had a guy call her a couple of weeks ago. Now, we skipped this episode. We skipped this because of last week. I had Hadassah on there, and we talked about being black as a woman. So we're going to talk about the episode 14 today. We had the recording of her on the phone with another guy that happened while we were dating within the last 3 weeks or so. And I'm gonna go through the phone call, right? And I'm gonna point out to guys and girls what my opinion is on each part of the phone call. So I'm gonna play it. I'm gonna be pausing it and stopping it, and you guys, give you my feedback on what happened. So, do you wanna come and sit. Ooh, I made $1.23 on Square. Wait, did I? Hold on. Yeah, I made $1.23 on Square, and Tesla made 99 cents.
All right, y'all.
I'm gonna need Alibaba and JP Morgan and Chase to get together.
So I'm going out tonight. I will be a bad bitch later, but right now I look busted.
I don't think you look busted.
Just gonna have
I think you just have.
me as I am.
I think you just have twists in your hair.
I look like I belong in the color purple.
That's hilarious. Have you even seen The Color Purple?
I have not seen that.
All
it used to come
all your
on,
life you
like,
had to
parts
fight.
of it.
You don't even know the quotes.
All of that. The level.
Uh-huh.
I've seen parts of it. I've never seen the whole thing. It's like 5 hours.
Can there be more blue dots? Okay. So. Oh, yes. What are you doing?
I'm a diva. Yeah. I don't know.
Hello?
I feel like before we tell people where we met, they should guess. Where and how we met, they should guess. That'd be cool.
Okay.
Give a prize to who's right.
Oh, we'll start from the beginning? I gotta figure out how much.
That's the beginning. Oh, we didn't even talk about how we ended up being on the phone.
Okay, so.
I'll go to text message.
All right, we're going to start off from square one. People have heard the story, will already know, but people who have not, I'm going to give you a little recap of how we got here.
You left part of it on the...
Nope. Delete the whole thing.
Oh, then nobody know.
No, it was on there. Like, not the week before that, we talked about it. When he first texted you.
Okay.
Any boogers?
No.
Okay.
I feel like he was about to blow my eyes.
That would have been wild. Okay, so... All right, I'm going to read the first text that the guy gave her. And I guess I'm going to run through this because I know guys are out there doing this, and I know girls are out there being hit on with this ridiculous game. And I want everybody to be better. I want men to be better. I want women to be better. I want black men and black women to do and be better. So he texts her, "I miss you," with a red heart. Right now, I found out later that he has a girlfriend. Right, so already off top. This is why I would consider him, or this is why black girls say guys ain't shit, right? He has a girlfriend, and he has a child on the way, and he's texting Melissa, who has a boyfriend, that "I miss you," with a red heart, right?
He's aware that I have.
And he's aware that she has a boyfriend because
I live with.
That we lived together, and he brought it up on the phone call, right? And now I'm gonna also tell you what the problem here with this is. Everybody might think, "Oh, that's terrible. Why is he doing that?" We all understand that's a bad thing to do. And he had the audacity to talk about how he doesn't like black women because they're too aggressive for him. And it's just like people that do shit like, so now if his girlfriend saw this, right? And she's gonna be upset. And for him to even say something about black women and then be doing this, I don't think he should be saying anything about any women until you handle this kind of problem. If you don't want to be with your girlfriend, do not be with her. Leave. If real men decide, you know what, I'm done, I'm leaving, that's it. I made a decision, I'm going through that decision, right? He's trying to, now let's just say Melissa wanted to have sex with him, right? Let's say she decided, you know what, I'm going to go over to his house, we're going to talk on the phone, we're going to flirt and all this other stuff, right? Is he gonna cheat on his girlfriend? He just had a kid with her? Like, what is his plan when he does these kind of things? These are the questions that guys need to ask. Girls need to ask guys, and guys need to ask themselves. I always say, I believe that a bitch move is for a guy to cheat on his girl. The reason I say that is because unless you tell her, if you tell your girlfriend, "Hey, I'm gonna go fuck somebody else," then you all good. Because that way you're being honest. But to try and hide it is, the reason I say it's a bitch move is because you're scared of the repercussions that may come with you telling her that you're going to cheat. But if you were really this tough, masculine, manly dude, you wouldn't give a fuck. You would say, "I'm going to fuck somebody else. You want to leave me? No? All right, then I'll see you when I get back." And then when you come back and she's crying and calling you ain't shit, you'll be able to deal with that because that's being honest. That's the consequence of your actions. But a person that's trying to hide that or hide from that, I say it's a bitch move, right? So he said, "I miss you," with a heart. She said, "Why?" He goes, "I haven't seen you in forever. You know I still got feelings for you, right? Plus, I wanted to pick your brain about some things because you've grown up a lot, which I like," right? Pause. Let's see. I still got feelings for you, right? He has a girlfriend and a kid that is about to be born. This is the problem. Because you're gonna hear in the audio about how he's talking about how good of a guy he is, and why the problem with women, why he doesn't want to move out, why he does not want to move in with women, and the women are not the problem. You're the problem. If you're with a person and you're doing these things, they're gonna react to you in a very I don't want to say malicious way. They're gonna be upset in a very emotional way. They're gonna respond to you. So you can't do these things and then get upset when somebody responds to you emotionally when you're playing games like this. Then this is what a lot of guys do, and they get confused as to, I don't know why my girl's acting like this, and then the girl is like, well, I don't know what to say to him about it, because I'm like. Then you cause girls to put up barriers and not be honest about what they're feeling, because then guys gaslight them and so on and so forth. We're gonna come back around to all of those things, but I want you guys to know, because I'm going to be very technical with this audio from the phone call and this text. So, because we've grown up a lot. Now, I said this before in the podcast. When guys will do things guys and girls, we're talking about guys right now. Guys will do things to make you feel less powerful or make them feel more superior to you, right? When you say, because you've grown up a lot, that's usually a term that somebody would use when talking to a child. Oh my God, look at the little kid, he's grown up so big. Oh my God, you gotten so big. So when he says these things, he feels like he's above Melissa. So he's saying these things to make her feel like she's below him. Now, the purpose of doing that is it makes her want to seek his validation. So by that, girls will say, what you mean I've grown up a lot? What you mean? I've always been grown. Oh, whatever. Or they might have the banter where they're like, oh no, you've grown up, right? And it's why it's a slippery slope if you don't know what you're doing. Because if you're a girl and a guy says to you, you've grown up a lot, if he's being disrespectful, then you just don't respond. And then he's gonna be confused as to why you don't respond. Then when he asks you, you'll say, I don't know why you think that it's okay to refer to me with what's the word I'm looking for? I want to say childish vernacular, but I think that might be. No, I would say maybe adult vernacular, because that's something that you would call parent vernacular. That's what it would be, parent vernacular. So I don't know why you think you can talk to me as a child. That's a better way to put it. And I don't like that. You cut it off right then. But your first action is to not respond. You don't feed into that, right? That's the first thing. That way, you already setting the foundation and you setting the boundaries without actually having to put them up first. I feel like this is another problem that even my cousin has. We talked about this earlier today, where girls will put up boundaries so that they don't get hurt. And instead of actually enforcing the boundaries, they put them up as a fake way to keep off ain't shit men. And that's never gonna work, because at the end of the day, once the guy knows the boundaries or knows the walls you put up, he has the cheat code. He has the code already, right? And the thing is, you don't really want to enforce those boundaries when you like a guy. However, what I said for her is, and for this situation here, you need to address the problem when it happens instead of prematurely. So as soon as something happens that you don't like, is disrespectful, right there, as soon as it happens, we're not doing that. What you mean? I don't know. I'm not 6. I'm not 7. I'm not 8 years old. What do you mean I've grown up a lot? What do you mean by that? Then what happens is, and this is how you know when I say guys do another bitch move. Oh, I was just playing. I didn't mean that. When you check a guy, he starts saying that, I think that's a problem. That's a red flag that you should look for. Oh my God, when they try to be disrespectful to you, and then you say something like that, and they go, I was just playing. Right? This is for girls to look out for guys to not do. If you're gonna say something, then stick behind what you said. If you were making a joke, then you can say, look, I was joking. You don't cop a plea and try and now get on her good side by saying, oh no, that's not what I meant. No, Kevin Hart voice. No. You don't do that. So that's that, right? And then he said, because grown up a lot, which I like. Right? So now what he's doing is I forgot what is a term for that in I want to say it's Pavlovian. I feel like that's what it is. Can you Google that? So I don't know the exact term, but I think it's Pavlovian. So when he says you've grown up a lot, Now, by saying which I like, he's now trying to put a positive connotation behind the term or behind the phrase that he used when he said what you grown up. Because he could have said, you grown up a lot. I don't really like that, right? He could have put a negative word behind it. You grown up a lot. What's wrong with you? But he didn't do that because he now wants to reinforce to her that the behavior that she has is good. So he said, which I like.
Conditioning.
But what is Pavlovian? What is it?
Yeah, I clicked on it. It's not loading it.
Oh, I don't think I'm on the
Wi-Fi?
Yeah, I'm on the camera still. They have to come up. Okay, yeah. So that's what he's doing. And he's reinforcing these things to make it feel like she's below him again. Oh, you like that I grow up?
Yeah, it's conditioning.
This is a form of conditioning. But what's the Pavlovian one?
No, Pavlov,
okay.
He came up with.
So Pavlovian conditioning is a method to cause a reflex response or behavior by training with repetitive action, right? So that's what's happening here. He's trying to reinforce the fact that she's doing something that he likes, and I want you to keep coming and looking for my attention, right? And then he said, I want to pick your brains or whatever, right? So she said, what do you want to pick my brains about? And then he said, YouTube, housing, and cooking, among other things, right? Now, this response was a good response from Melissa because it's very direct. It says, you want to pick my brain about what? You have to be, especially when you know a guy is already trying to neg you. He's already trying to make you seem, he's trying, what's the opposite he's trying to demean you. When you already have a guy doing that, it's better to just answer the question that are being asked directly. Don't give no extra laughs. Don't put no LOLs. Don't put no smiley faces. You want to pick my brain about what? Leave it at that, right? So he says, he responds with YouTube, housing, and cooking, right? And then a separate message he writes, among other things. Now, I've said this before. When the guy tells you wants to do things with you, wants to go out and hang out, he wants to go do things, when he's very vague with his responses, it's usually a sexual connotation behind, among other things. He wants to talk about a relationship between them. It does not mean they have to be dating. It means like, hey, like you trying to like, what you trying to do? You trying to still talk? Like you still feeling me? That's what among other things means. If he was being and again, this is my problem with that, is if you are really a guy or if you're really an honest person or a mature person, you would say to her, I want to talk about the feelings that I have for you. That's what I want to talk about on the phone. I want to talk about that I like you. I want to talk about, well, if we can build something together. That's what I want to talk about. I'm not going to write among other things because that is me trying to filter out my actual thoughts and make it sound a lot easier for you to digest it when I say it instead of being direct. Every girl I've ever met loves when a guy's direct. You hear it all the time. Say that shit. I want to hear that. I want to hear you say I want you. I want to hear you say I want to fuck you. I want to hear you say I don't like this. That's what girls want to hear, right? And I think that this is the problem that guys have. Is they're too scared to say what they actually feel. If guys and girls, people in general, if you feel something, say it, and then let the person respond to what you say. Because 9 times out of 10, when you say exactly what you feel, the other person's not going to respond the way you think they will. If you can say, look, I like you, they're going to be like, what do you mean? I like you. I want to be with you. When I was running game on girls, it's a sentence whenever I want to hang out with a girl, I would just text them, I want you. No. I was that too, but that would be after I've already, it might be after.
He's a hoe.
It might be after, but I definitely would say, I want to see you. I would prefer to say it on the phone, not over text, because I want them to hear my voice when I say it. I want them to know how serious I am when I say I want to see you. I'm not playing games. When I'm on the phone with you and I say, hey, I want to see you, they start giggling. What you mean? Listen, on 8:30, on Thursday at 8:30, I'm free. I want to take you out too. And as a guy, you have to know what the direction is. You don't say I want to take you out somewhere. No. On Thursday at 8:30, there's a movie that I want to see, and next to the movie there's a club that I want to go to, and then there's a theme park that closes at 10. I want to do that on Thursday. Then the girl, every time I've done this with a girl, they're like, okay. Now, another girl's may be busy that day, and when they say I can't go, you go, okay, fine. Now, the thing to look out for is when a girl should give you an alternative idea or alternative date when you do that. She should be able to say, okay, I can't do 8:30. Can I do, Friday at 9? You go, okay, we can work around that. And if it does not work for you, then you say, nah, I can't do Friday. And then you'll go, listen, we have to come up with a different time. for this. However, she knows that you want to see her. There's no confusion about that. And now you know that she wants to see you because she has already said, listen, can we rearrange that date for you? But guys tend to be playing. My sister is calling me. I'm not gonna answer it. I'm gonna call her back. I don't know what she's calling for. That's interesting. I'm gonna call her back. So where was I? Right. So guys tend not to be direct, and this is the big problem that girls have with guys. Is just say it. This is, and I'm like, I think it's so funny that guys claim to not be pussy. Guys claim to be this man, this real man, but then you can't say to your girl, I want you. You can't say to a girl in the street, I want you. You supposed to be this strong dude. You want to fight everybody. You want to beat people up. You this real tough dude, but you be lying to your girl. Why are you lying? What are you afraid of? Why would you lie to her if you are a man? You do not need to lie because you already know what the consequences are. So you go, okay, either I'm gonna accept them or I'm not gonna accept them. But if I'm lying, I'm trying to hide and I'm trying to run from the consequences. Now, shout out to Claudia because that's one of the reasons I got this. One of the ideas. We had a conversation about this years ago, and that's where I kind of got this thought from. She's a woman, by the way. So then she said, what question do you have? He said, so many. I take my time with things. I need a lot of info. More sexual language. It's just like, it's corny because this is why I say things are corny, right? It's because he is not saying what his purpose is. He's trying to beat around the bush so he doesn't come off, so he does not get curved immediately during this conversation. That's what he's trying to do. So he's, let's talk about YouTube. Let's talk about cooking, among other things. And I did take my time. So, we might be on the phone for a little while. These are connotations that center around sex. Things like the words long and hard and fast. When you use these words in certain contexts unrelated to sex, it can be perceived as sexual, or the person trying to be sexual, right? So he says probably easier to call you if you're cool with that. Now, this is what I'm saying. Again, if you're cool with that, this is why it's so many red flags, and it's only been like 4 messages. If you're cool with that, I would like to call you. I want to call you. Can I call you? These are things that you would say. You don't have to say if you're cool with that because you're trying to soften the blow of her saying no. If she says no, big deal. Man up. A person said no to you. It happens. People say no. But if you say, if you're cool with that, I don't mind. If it's up to you, how you really want to. No, I want to call you to talk about you. And this is the thing. This is why I say it's a red flag, because he does not want to only talk about YouTube, cooking, and housing. So that when he says if you're cool with that, this is why he's asking permission. This is why he's like, if you're cool with me calling you, because he knows the underlying reason behind him calling her is not about YouTube and cooking and whatever else he said on there, right? Did they ever talk about cooking on the phone?
No.
The YouTube phone call, the YouTube part of the conversation was probably like 7 minutes.
Even with that part of the conversation, that was disrespectful. So.
So that's that, right? Now we're gonna get to the. So he didn't call for like a week or some shit, and then he said, "Hey, I was supposed to call, but my phone ended up breaking shortly after. Can I call you now from my iPad? LOL." I don't even know why. I don't know even. Like I said, maybe somebody could tell me in the comments because I don't understand this. He said from my iPad, LOL. I don't know why you put an LOL there. Insecurity. I don't know what you're insecure about. Are you insecure that your phone is broken? Are you insecure that it's an iPad? Are you trying to Are you trying to be what's that word? It's not optimistic.
Oh, he's trying to. Because he probably thought I would have been like, oh, how you gonna call me if your phone was broken?
Yeah, but there's a word for that when you're trying to be, you're doing pretentious. I think he was trying to be pretentious by saying that. That's why he put LOL. This is my theory on that, because there's no reason to put LOL there. LOL is another filter. What's it? Let me get better. Okay, LOL is another filter, and this is why I don't really like texting. I mean, I don't run game now, so I don't. My life is different. But for guys who don't understand how this works, when you write LOL, you're trying to filter something. You're trying to think of it like this, right? Think of it as a strainer, right? If you are pouring water and seeds through a strainer, all the real stuff with the seeds don't go through, right? The LOL is the filter that he's trying to use from saying something, because he's like, you know what? I said something that's kind of mean, or I said something that's kind of something. I don't know if it's insecure or I feel bad, but I don't want all of it to come through. So if I put LOL on it, maybe it won't sound as bad. So again, these are things that you should look out for as a girl, and as a guy, you should not do. Just say, and even then, why are you even saying I'm calling from my iPad? Like, what's the point of even saying that? Just call. Yo, I'm calling you. And if it don't go through, it didn't go through. I'm using my iPad. Oh, okay. All right. Call me FaceTime audio, whatever. But again, he's trying to soften the blow, because did it come as a FaceTime audio when he called you?
I think so.
So this is what I'm assuming probably could have happened too. If he called her, it might have been a FaceTime audio call. She would have asked, why was it FaceTime audio? And he was trying to avoid that, because he might have felt bad about having answered that question. So he said, you know what? If I tell her beforehand, then I won't feel bad when she asks me, because she won't ask me. These are flags. Look out for these flags. So then he said, I called. And here we have the audio of that phone call.
Audio was an hour and some change long.
That's good. I thought it was 2 hours. That's perfect.
Oh, it's an hour and 42.
That's fine. A lot of it was just some bullshit.
I'm thinking good. Has the coronavirus affected you?
Oh my God, his voice. Jesus Christ. Oh my God. So, okay.
I'm going to write down the timestamps. Make it easier for you to. Because I'm a great ass producer.
Okay, another thing that guy, I don't even know if girls know this, that guys do it. Maybe some girls do, maybe some girls don't. I don't know if guys know they do this. But they come on the phone, right? They try to put in a sexy voice, right? So it usually sounds something like this. I'm going to play that back so I could do it in his voice.
I'm thinking good. Has the coronavirus
Yeah, I've been good. Yeah, has the coronavirus affected you in any way? Yeah. I just want to know, like, have you been wearing the proper mask? Like, how you been doing? You good? All right, I just want to make sure that you good, because at the end of the day, if you're not good, I'm not good. Right? They put this fucking voice on, right? And this is why I have a problem with the voice. The problem with the voice is fake. So, you can tell it is fake because the voice changes when you challenge them. When you put them on the spot, the voice turns into, man, I ain't say that shit. What you talking about? I never talking about. That's what the voice turns into when you challenge them. That whole, yeah, man, yo, what's popping, Five? Yo, I'm chilling good. Yo. All that shit go out the window as soon as you start asking them questions about, well, why are you talking like that? Why does your voice sound like that? Yeah, my voice always sound like this. No, it don't. I heard you yesterday. It don't sound like that. Why are you talking like that for? And then this is the problem I have. Again, we all saw the red flags before this. We saw a bunch of red flags before we got here. So we're gonna play from the beginning. You ready?
Yes.
Let me turn the volume all the way up so I can hear this shit.
Oh my gosh.
I feel like, okay, it is. Boom.
I'm thinking good. Has the coronavirus affected you?
Is it down?
Yes.
I can't hear.
You deaf.
Yes. Oh, also, I want you guys to understand this too. Melissa had a lot of fuck ups during this phone call, right? For multiple reasons. But I'm gonna point those out as well as what he was doing. But putting that out there. I don't want nobody to think this is just about him. It's about everybody. I'm trying to help everybody here.
Not really. I was working, and then I kind of quit my job because of it, but it didn't really cause any major differences. What about you?
That was good on her part. Once you get asked a question by a guy, ask the question back to them. This is a good conversational skills that people should have, especially women. Honestly, men and women should have these conversations. Somebody asks you a question, yeah, man, how's this been affecting you? Yeah, man, it's been kind of weird, the whole coronavirus thing. I don't like this. And then you ask the question back. The reason why is because people tend to suffer from insecurity where they don't get to talk in their real life. So they over talk, right? So if a lot of people will not ask the question back because they want to be asked more questions. They want to keep talking. But it's for a good conversation. It's like a game of tennis. You go back and forth for a good conversation. The person asks you a question, and then, oh my God, why is this happening? Stop going off. Okay. Whew. Okay. It's still recording. You go back and forth. They hit the question over to you. Hey, how's your day? Good. My day's pretty good. You know, I got kind of my feet hurt, but whatever. How's your day? Hit the ball and the question back. All right. Boom. Your phone needs to stop shutting off too, because I didn't even. It's been 8 seconds.
Did you turn on the? Yes, you did. I don't know why you turned it off.
Because it's just on 20%. I'm gonna plug it over.
I turned it off. So it's
Okay. Okay. 22 seconds.
Yeah, because it messed up the hours that I was working, so it just didn't make sense.
For me, I started working more, actually. So I've been better off. I've been making more money than I've ever been making because of coronavirus. And I don't believe I ever actually.
Okay. So this is at 43-second mark. This is him trying to let her know that he's making a lot of money. Okay, just point that out there. Like I said, he's trying to be. It's pretentious. I'm pretty sure that's the word. He's trying to look like he's doing better in life than he really is. And the reason that I say this, because this is the thing, anybody can say that, and it not everybody can say that sentence, and it won't mean the same thing for everybody that says it, right? The reason why I say this is because you have to attach that and compare it to the rest of the conversation. When you compare what somebody is saying in the beginning of a conversation to what they say at the end of the conversation, shit.
I don't know what you were talking about.
That's fine. I think I've stopped. Okay.
Because I always make sure I'm protected. Do you have the proper mask and stuff yourself?
I don't wear masks. I don't think it really makes sense. So.
Yeah.
Okay. He said, do you have the proper mask? Pay attention to the word proper, right? This is why after he said that, it got very quiet, because he's trying to promote his authority on this subject because he is a nurse, and he said you have the proper mask. So if she would have said I have a mask, you'd be like, oh yeah, sure. Which one do you have? You got to get this kind of mask. You should have that kind of mask. Or that mask ain't really good. He would try and neg her, but she goes, nah, I don't wear masks. I don't believe in that. And it's kind of like,
he didn't say anything.
Nothing. He just like, okay, right? Now, this is why I say he's being disingenuous.
I think it's funny because I thought he would be like, oh, why don't you wear a mask?
Right?
Like, what? That's not safe. You need to wear a mask. That's the response that I get from everybody else, which I think is funny.
Right. So the reason like I said, you got to compare what they said in the beginning to what they're saying later. Now, the reason I said that he was saying that because he's trying to neg her and promote his authority on the subject is because he did not have a follow-up to that. Because his plan was, okay, I'm going to try and neg her by using this mask as a subject to put her below me. But when she said, I don't wear a mask, because he was not genuinely concerned about her well-being, it was like, all right. All right, well, okay. That's good. And it's like, why would you identify or specifically use the word proper mask if you're trying to show that you know how healthy masks are supposed to be, but when a person in question tells you they don't wear a mask, you don't even tell them, you don't say, hey, you don't know the N95 mask has a 95% success rate on keeping out pathogens. You don't say none of that. You don't say, well, you shouldn't wear the cloth because the cloth doesn't, none of that. It's just, all right.
Ask you about the housing because, I built my credit up.
I wanted to ask you about the house.
It was in the 400s before, now it's in the 700s. And then I want to make a move. But I've seen that you are.
Okay. Important. Be pay attention to when you're talking to somebody and they give you specific numbers without being asked about the specific numbers. If the numbers are not needed for the topic at hand, it's usually them trying to look better to the person that they're talking to. If he had just said, yeah, what, how is the housing search going? How did it go? Because my credit score was really low. I got it up higher now. I'm trying to get an apartment. If Melissa has said, well, what's your credit score now? Oh, it's, it used to be 400, but now it's 7. Like, oh, okay. So that should be good enough to get you an apartment. No, I want you to know I got a 700 credit score because I want you to know that I am doing good things over here.
Made a move, but you're younger than me, so I like to know how is it that you want to buy it. Because maybe you have had some perspectives that I don't know about. Because technically, I want to get a nice place, but I want to get a place that's also not too nice, where I'm paying like $2,000 for a studio.
Yeah. Well, basically, I didn't move out by myself, so there's that.
Wait, do you live?
Me personally, I would have let him drown because he's Melissa will tend to save people when they're saying things that make them sound stupid because for multiple. Why do you think you do that?
Because it makes me feel uncomfortable. I don't like awkwardness. Funny enough, it makes me very uncomfortable. I don't like watching awkward scenes and shows. It makes me feel like, and yeah, that's why if I send a text or something, me being vulnerable, I'll throw it away. Like it's very much like a feeling. So
right now, a lot of people have that feeling, and I think that if you read the 48 Laws of Power, and this is where I kind of learned that from, it's you have to be able to be comfortable with not saying anything because people want to talk. Multiple books I've read talked about how people will give you, as they call, free information, right? Now, this helps if you're running game or if you're just trying to be a good listener because people want to talk and you should listen to what they're saying, specifically the words that they're using and why they're using them and how they're using those words, right? So for this situation, he was just going on and talking about, what is he saying? He wants to
get an apartment that's nice, but not too nice.
Right. I've never even heard that. I don't even know what that means. I don't know if he meant expensive, but not too. Because this is, like I said, these things don't make any sense. I want to get an apartment that's nice, but not too nice, because I don't want to pay $2,000 a month for an apartment. Now,
for a studio.
Right, for a studio, right? So it's like, all right. What's the response to Melissa has to? Okay.
I'm like,
all right. So what? Like, okay. So what you looking for? Like, what are you looking for? So.
In Manhattan, Brooklyn.
So she saved him.
Nah, I live in Queens.
In Queens.
Yeah.
Wait, so say what you were saying.
I didn't move out by myself. So if you're planning to move out like by yourself, then I don't really know how much I can really help with, like, or give any advice about that. Because this only really worked out because me and my boyfriend have moved in together. So, but they have a lot of luxury buildings, like new luxury buildings that's being built up in like Brooklyn and Queens and even the Bronx, I think. So, a lot of those, they have like no fees when you when you go to look at the apartment. There's no fees. There's no broker's fee. We actually got the last 3 months of our lease for free. So they have like a lot of promotions.
Okay. Melissa's doing a lot of talking right now. A lot of saying, a lot of nothing, right? Now, Melissa has her own insecurities because she also has a problem of wanting to look like she's doing better than she's doing. So she will overtalk to tell people, look at me. See your arms crossed? Look at me. I'm doing all of this good stuff. I'm doing all of you. Look at me. I know this.
Talking about me.
You're talking about the information that you have about the subject.
Yes.
Yes.
Isn't this why we on the phone to ask?
What did he ask you?
To ask you information. He asked me if I had any advice on.
I ain't hear him ask that. I ain't hear him ask any question.
Yeah, he did ask a question. That's how I ended up talking.
What did he ask?
Because he was like, say what you were saying before.
When you had started talking before he asked you a question, because he never asked you a question. He was talking. You said okay. Started talking.
Oh, and I
you bailed him out. Then he said something like, "Where do you live?" You said in Queens, and then you started talking about.
He said in Queens.
You said in Queens, and then you started bringing up, well, they got this luxury apartment, if you know the fees, and this, that, and the third.
Because I was trying to help. He said he looking for something that's nice but not expensive. That sounds like he wants to get a lottery building to me.
So if you're trying to help, you would ask, what exactly are you looking for?
You're right.
Right. But Melissa wants him to know that, hey, listen, I know stuff. I want you to know that I know things. Look at me knowing stuff. That's what Melissa was trying to do. So sometimes it's better to, sometimes less is more. Okay. Sometimes you don't have to always talk and over talk. You got to learn when to just be like, all right, I'm done. That's it. All right. Sidebar. I have a problem with that too when I start to get to chatting. So I'm not perfect. I want everybody to know this is for everybody.
3 months to get okay.
Yeah, we got a 2-year lease, and the last 3 months is rent free.
And I think it's too specific. Wait, y'all pay over 2,000 or less than 2,000?
We pay less than 2,000, about 1,800 a month.
Oh, not bad. But it's a studio.
Yeah, it's a studio.
Oh, but it's in a nice location. I'm so proud.
Yeah, I mean the building is pretty cool. They have like
look mad modern.
Yeah, it was a new building. So we're the first people to live in our apartment. There's a gym in the building. There's like a lounge, a co-worker's lounge, a rooftop. They have like one of those electronic packaging systems, so you put in a code and your packages come out. So like it's cool, and that's that's the main reason why we ended up getting a studio, because it wasn't a big trade-off because we're getting all the other.
This would be me validating myself?
Yes, that's the term that Melissa is validating herself. That's the perfect term that
it'd
it
be
is.
so hard not to, because I feel like some people really be like on some,
they be shitting on you.
Yes.
So what?
And it's like, but how you shitting on me from down there? How that work?
Because what else they gonna do? So that's the term. It's validating herself. That's what she's doing. That's what guys want you to do. It's a form of insecurity because you don't feel good. So you go, okay, well, look at me. Look at all the things that I know. I'm gonna validate myself. Excuse me. Thank you. I'm gonna try and validate myself to you. Now, different forms of validating. What?
It's because he gonna be like, because you know what he did. So this is what he did. Because he was like, he asked me what the price was, if over or less than 2,000. I told him.
He didn't ask you that.
Yes, he did.
No, he didn't. What he said was,
he asked if
not to be too specific.
Yes.
Is it over under 2,000? So Melissa said what?
It's under 2,000.
And then you said,
and
then you said it's $1,800.
I surely did. I did get specific.
Why?
Because I thought that I should have just took it for what he said, but I thought he was saying that to be like, you know how people don't want to pry, I guess, but they ask a question. It's kind of like you should feel comfortable to just ask.
So let him. Right. Let him ask the question.
Okay.
Because he's already been trying to neg you since y'all started talking. So you giving him the benefit of the doubt by trying to be nice, and he's been trying to be disrespectful this whole time.
Yeah, that's a problem a really bad problem that I have, that like people would really be like disrespectful, and I'm trying to be nice. Mm-hmm. So I need to work on that.
Right. People will disrespect her, and she'll be like, "Well, I don't want to be mean to them."
Yeah.
I'd be like, they just said some wild shit 30 seconds ago. How you don't want to be mean to them? What do you mean you don't want to be mean?
Unless it's some like blatant disrespectful shit, is very hard. Even I don't know, some that should be blatant too.
Right? They be like, what? They be like, yo, you ain't shit. What do you mean by that? Like, do you want me to bring you something from the store or not?
It could happen. It could come out of me. It's just.
When last time it came out of you?
It don't
right.
happens without
right.
it.
Exactly. Because I try to be as mature about it as possible. I try to be as in the middle. And this is the problem that people have when you try to be mature. People think that being mature is allowing somebody to overstep your boundaries or being weak. And it's like, no. If I wanted to manipulate Melissa and try and throw my weight around and try and be disrespectful and rude, I could do that. But what do I get from doing that? And if I did that, she probably would be a lot more submissive and a lot more docile and things like that. But I don't want that. I don't want a woman who is going to do that. I want her to speak for herself. I want her to be able to have her own thoughts. I don't want to be trying to overpower her every day, all the time. But the downside of that is, and it's only the downside because Melissa has not become confident in herself. So she feels like she has a situation where she thinks, okay, if he's not being the parent, I have to be the parent. Or if he's not being toxic, I have to be toxic. And it's like, no, nobody has to be toxic in a relationship. One person could not be being toxic, and you could not be being toxic too. I think that people feel like, okay, the dynamic I'm used to is somebody's yelling at me, I need to be submissive. Oh, they aren't yelling, I got to switch roles. I should be yelling at them now. And it's like, no, They're just not yelling because no reason to yell. You don't have to now yell because they're not yelling.
And for the record, this does not happen all the time. And I feel like it mostly happens when I am not about myself.
What does that mean?
So like this past week, how everything was, I feel like it was like that because I was about myself. So saying that, it's like what you said earlier where I don't feel like I have to do girlfriend things. It's kind of like, okay, all right, I know there's food for the week. I don't have to cook. I don't have to do this. I can focus on the skirt. I can focus on editing. When I'm thinking more so like that as opposed to, what time is Donovan getting home? Like stuff like that is different. And it doesn't happen as much when I'm doing things. Because when I'm not doing things, the anxiety builds up, and then I think parts of my anxiety, which is my main toxicity, would leak out into other ways.
Yeah.
How I interact with Donovan.
Right. So when she feels anxious, and this is one thing that I also think happens, when she feels anxious, she usually feels anxious because she's not doing enough, or she feels like she isn't doing enough. But she feels like that I will be the one to tell her she's not doing enough. So if she can hug me and make me smile by hugging me and having sex with me, right, then Donovan won't be mad at me. And it's like, all right, we can have sex, but when I'm done, I'm gonna be like, yo, did you finish editing? It's not gonna. I'm not gonna be like, oh, don't edit now because we had sex. Like, oh, I'm still hungry. I'm still gonna be hungry after we eat. Like, I mean, after we have sex, like it's not gonna change just because we had sex and we hug. And that just makes it worse because now it's almost like, okay, I gave myself to you, and I didn't even get what I wanted. I didn't get the response that I wanted. This is why I think that strippers have a big problem. This is what happens. They give themselves to people for the validity or the confidence that they need, the self-confidence, and they don't get it. And it's like, okay, this is not working. I think it then reinforces that the low self-esteem. It reinforces the insecurity because it's like, damn, I don't want to do it. I should just do the work. But then you get mad at yourself for trying to do that. And it's a whole big-ass cycle. This is why you do the work you have to do, and then you do everything else after that. So that's that. Good? Okay.
I want cherries.
Yes, that would be great.
Amenities and stuff.
That's smart, because I was like, yeah, I would at least want one room or something.
Yeah, it's the way that they built it.
What I was saying was, Donovan's right. He didn't ask me explicitly how much it costs. But either way, when I said how much it costs, he was like, oh, so it must be in like a good area then, or something like that, because we're paying so much for the studio. And I really like what he was insinuating.
I don't know what you just said.
I thought I was coming with some heat.
Yeah, I'm like.
I thought I came with some fire. Because he said something there that made me respond like that.
I don't know. They built it kind of like perfectly for it to not really feel
right.
Like
He said I would have wanted one room
studio.
or something. Let the man talk. Why you want one room? Let him just talk. But Melissa felt like he was taking shots at her by saying that. So now she's like, no. I gotta tell you why I live here, why I live like this. Just
because he started off before he.
Just let him talk. He gonna say something stupid anyways.
Before he asked me if we had a studio or not, he was on some because I don't want to pay $2,000 for a studio. So then next he gonna follow up with, so are you paying $2,000? Is it a studio? And it's like,
yes, he's trying to shit on you.
how? How are you trying to?
By what he thinks is shitting on, but it's working because you're validating yourself to him, so it's working.
I wish it didn't.
Yeah, you wish you didn't. You don't have to let it. Don't let it work next time. That's how it works. Just do what you do.
I really don't know how to explain it.
See, now Melissa's all like,
some YouTubers be doing it. That where they get like a smaller apartment, they have the couch and pull out into a bed type shit.
No.
Oh, you never did that?
We have a bed, we have a couch, we have like a table and chairs
my
and stuff.
My man just asked. See, this is what I'm saying, right? First of all, I've never seen a YouTuber that has this. I don't know who he's talking about, but he said that you're not doing the other YouTubers do. They have a pull-out bed and a pull-out couch, and it's like, okay, he's trying to neg her. His whole thing, because this is the thing about negging, right? He has to make her feel like she's below him, which is working, right? However, she's not. She's doing a lot better than he's doing. But because Melissa does not feel like that, it's easy for somebody to manipulate her by saying these types of things, by saying, oh, you know, you ain't got this, you ain't got that, you ain't got this. But it's like, okay, I have more money in my 401k than you. I read more books than you. I live by myself and you don't. And it's a long list of things that she can go on about how she's better than him. But because he said to her, well, you got one of them pull-out beds in your house, she feels like, no, I don't. No, I don't got that. And it's like, all right. So, there you go.
But like we just put everything in a way that like made the most sense without
just say
it
no.
being cluttered.
Just say no.
So there's a lot of open space.
Yeah, I like when things are laid out that way, where it feels like a hotel, where they just have the essentials, don't look too crazy, and you feel more at peace that way.
I think it kind of sucks because I feel like, no, that's not true. I was going to say that I feel like I was trying to have the conversation from a neutral point. That was my basis, what I was trying to do. But he made it so hard. Like, I can't, how can
It's not hard, but this is what we talked about earlier. So, neutral means that I don't push on your space.
And that's why I said never mind.
Yeah.
Because I tried to shit on him. So.
Right. So it's like, and not even necessarily that, you let him push you back. So neutral means I'm not going to push you and I won't let you push me. That's neutral.
Ooh, that part's hard.
Right. And you have to say, listen, I'm going to stand my ground. I'm not going to try and fight you, but I'm going to say that this is wrong. That's not true. I'm not going to say you ain't shit for thinking that, but I'm going to definitely say what you're saying is wrong. And that's the problem with some of this conversation.
Yeah. Do you have any places in mind that you're looking at?
To be honest, they actually just opened up a place a block away from me. Because I do like Harlem, because it's like close to the Bronx where
Good question.
a lot of people are at, and like school and stuff. And then it's close to downtown where I frequently go there. And then Brooklyn is just a little bit further to go to Barclays Center. There's no real reason for me to go to Brooklyn otherwise. So the location is very nice. Because even on 139th, because I live more like where the black people are at, but if you just go a block over 139th, there's a bunch of brownstone buildings where white people be at. And it's just a whole different vibe. It's a block away. So the location itself is nice. It's just where exactly are you located within the vicinity. So, but when I looked at the places, I think they was charging like $1,800 or $2,200 for a studio, like right there.
What time was this phone call?
It's like,
At night?
Huh?
In the afternoon?
I was gonna ask you what your budget is.
I'm a person, I'm willing to, you already know I'm willing to pay if I feel like I see value in it. So my budget.
Okay. I don't know if y'all noticed how quiet it got. Right? It was a pretty long pause for me. I don't know if anybody else feels like that. It was a pretty long ass pause to me. Now, the problem I have with that pause, right, is that she asked him a specific question. Now, when you're trying to shit on somebody, you can't shit on them when you ask specific questions. How much money do you have in your pocket? You've been talking about I could buy this, I could buy that. How much money do you have? $3. So why are you talking all big like you don't got $3? So now he don't want to say nothing that's too crazy low because he's like, damn, I don't want to like. I've been talking all this bullshit this whole time. I can't be out here like acting like I don't got it. So now it's like, right? Now, somebody that's moving out, right? You have an idea how much you're trying to spend. It's not, you don't get asked how much you're trying to spend when you move out. If you've been looking for places, you don't go, I didn't even hear, It was just complete silence. It was just, like he never asked, like nobody's ever asked him this question before. That it was crazy, but I'm a press play.
Would be a budget until I see something that makes it so I would have.
He ain't even answered the question yet. I'm a person. I'm willing to. You already know.
Open myself to paying a little bit more.
If I see,
To be honest, I was trying to be optimistic and try to be going somewhere.
My budget will be a budget till I see. I haven't heard an answer. Man, my man has not answered the question yet. Bruh, this is what I be talking about. You could see the lies in the. She asked him, "What is your budget?" Silence. Man, you already know I'm trying to. If my budget, man, you know, when I see value in the property, if I see something, I get something that I want to see, I get it. What? Bruh, come on.
Like that's 1,200 or so. But it's not looking like you even get a 1 bedroom with 1,200. That technically all I need is a 1 bedroom.
Bruh, all of that to say $1,200. All of that to be like, $1,200. Fam.
I don't even think.
Fam. I don't know where you. I mean, I have looked at the housing market in a minute. I don't know what $1,200 is gonna get you in New York City. I don't know. I don't know how that won't get you a studio. And you talking about if I see something of luxury, I'm gonna pay for it. If you see something for luxury, it's gonna be $2,000 for a studio. That's what you're gonna see. What you talking about? Where you find something that's luxurious for cheap? Listen.
Bruh. When we were looking for this apartment, the original budget was $1,500.
Yes.
If you saw the apartments that you can get for $1,500,
bruh, $1,500 was the budget, and I was looking, and this one was $1,730, right? And it's a studio, not a 1 bedroom. It's nice amenities though, but it's a studio. So I'm like, fam, and all of that, not talking and saying nothing to be able to end it with $1,200. If this is what I'm trying to say, girls need to listen to this. Guys need to understand. Stop doing bullshit like this. Say $1,200. If you feel insecure about it, then don't talk about that shit. Or
say I don't know.
Say I don't know, or just forget all of that. Say it. And say what the truth is. If your budget is $1,200, your budget is $1,200. Because to somebody else, you have a lot of money. But to somebody else, you are broke. So no matter where you are in life, you are better than some people and worse than others. So there's no reason to feel insecure. If you're making $10 an hour, you probably feel like, damn, I'm poor as shit. People are making $3 an hour in some places. They're looking at you like, what you mean you only making 10? You making 10? That's mad money. This is what it means to be confident. You have to understand your place and who you're talking to, where you are in the world, in the system. I make more money than some people, but if I go sit with somebody else that makes $10,000 a week, I ain't making shit. I'm broke. If I talk to somebody that's making less than what I'm making, I know I'm making more than them, but this is where it comes into play. If you're making more than somebody else, you don't want to make them feel bad about making more than them. I mean, I'll do that because y'all be getting me tight. I'm talking about like, have I done that? I feel like I would. I would probably do it out of comedy. I don't think I've done it though. I feel like I said that, but I think I would do that.
You would do that.
Right. That's what I'm saying. In a real situation, I wouldn't do that. If I'm joking, probably, maybe I might do that depending on who I'm talking to. With what? Oh, she'll do it for me. So I don't even have, because Melissa doesn't, you'll hear that in the phone call. Because I don't really like doing that. But yeah, so.
You planning to move out by yourself?
Yeah, I move out by myself.
Yeah.
Because usually living with another person doesn't work out. And I never lived with anyone. I wouldn't be able to know, but almost everyone I know that lives with someone else, that shit don't work out. So.
David mean.
I had a friend who was he's like a nice guy, a really nice guy, right? And I was the person who was trying to tell him, you gotta be more honest. If you don't like something, tell someone you don't like that. If you think that this person needs to do that, tell them. Just be more honest. Don't be so nice and try not to say anything to rub with others. And you still be like that. So the fact that it's coming from him, because what happened is he was in high school, right? And he found this girl who they clicked with, and he really liked her. She really liked him. That was like his first real girlfriend. And so, she fell on hard times. So since that was his girlfriend.
Okay, this is another thing that guys will do, right? This is one other thing that guys will do that. I don't think it's easy for me to tell guys that they're doing it, but girls will do it. Girls will know. Hold on, me and cherries 1 second. Facts. Eat some organic cherries. Okay. So what he's doing right now is it's called AMOG, AMOG. It means alpha male of the group. Right now.
Should have picked me. I knew the answer.
Oh, I got you for the next one. Okay. So that's what he's doing right now, right? Now, he's doing it, and this is what I'm saying. Okay. Real game is no game at all, right? I don't like the term alpha male of the group, but if that is what you are, then that is what you are. You don't have to do things to be that person. Now, the reason I'm saying that is because he's talking about, I have this friend, and my friend is like, he don't be being honest. Like, I be telling him, you being too nice, man. You gotta not be so nice. You gotta be more honest. So he's trying to let Melissa know that he is the honest person. He's the one that tells his friend, listen, you gotta do this, bro. You gotta do that, bro. You gotta do this, bro. And it's like, the problem I have with that is, if you've been on this podcast for the last 30, 40 minutes, he has been lying and being disingenuous this whole time. But a girl will not call him out on that. There are some girls who will, and guys call them difficult. Honestly, I wonder if that's why people be talking about black girls, because black girls be doing it. They be like, what are you talking about? You lying. What is that? That don't make sense. I wonder if that's where that comes from, that term. So you need to call out guys for this. What do you mean? So you the friend that's honest? You the one that told him, but why were you lying to me? Right, exactly. You lying. You talking about how you tell him to don't be a nice guy, but you over here flirting with me on the phone, talking about you miss me, you got feelings for me. You have a kid and you have a girlfriend. This is what I'm trying to say. But people do not call other people out on these things enough, and it continues to go on and on and on, and then he reinforces it. He gets with another woman, a black queen, and he fucks her shit up because he acting like this. Because at the end of the day, the women want to be with a guy, but you putting on this facade, and this is what the problem I have with girls, is that I don't know they don't know or they don't care, but it's better for your life to check these guys on these different things. Ask them questions. That don't make sense, sir. Explain this to me. I don't understand that. Yeah, that sound cute, but how you telling me you got all this money, but you can't afford this? How you telling me that you honest, but you just lied to me yesterday? What are you talking about? Then when you say that, don't say nothing. Just sit there. What happened?
But how do you do that without overstepping the other person's boundaries?
Like what?
Like, because that person might take it as you disrespecting them or demeaning them.
Are they lying?
Yeah, but they probably feel like you shouldn't call them out on that.
That's not my problem. Don't you try to deceive me. You tried to step over my boundaries. I'm letting you know. Stop. I'm not the one to be playing with. No. You're not gonna lie to me. And if you think you're gonna lie to me, I need an explanation. Why do you think that was true? Explain that to me, sir. I need to know. And I think that's what women need to do. Question men when they say shit to you. Everything. Listen, even with me, I would tell Melissa, I say some shit. If I say some shit that sounds crazy, check me on it or ask me what the fuck that shit mean. Because then what that does for me, it makes me go, that do make sense. Or it makes me reinforce the thought of what I'm saying already. But this is what guys don't do. You need to be thinking about what you're saying and why you're saying it. If you don't have at least 3 whys or 4 whys as to why you're doing and saying something, you probably shouldn't be saying or doing that thing.
I'm just seeing how much time. I feel like that's mad. Okay.
Only 7 minutes into the podcast.
And it's gonna be like that. So the fact that it's coming from him, because what happened is he was in high school, right? And he found this girl who they clicked with, and he really liked her. She really liked him. That was like his first real girlfriend. And so she fell on hard times. So since that was his girlfriend at the time, and she developed a relationship with her mom, she ended up moving in with him.
He wants you to know that he's the honest.
Like, and so he's been living with her for like 2 or 3 years. And then I would ask him, like, what is it like? And before we even get to it, this is the same person. Why I said, you gotta be honest, you gotta speak up and say something. This dude was like, don't do it. And I was like, what do you mean? He was like, don't do it.
What did the guy say?
I'm like, I could tell him. He was like, just don't do it. And then he ended up giving me detail and stuff, so if anything, I'm open to it, but I'm moving on myself. You gotta feel a sense of independence. Because, living with your mom you don't feel like you're really independent, and then living with your woman.
Living with your mom,
you never get that
independent.
You feel like a man.
And living with your woman, you don't feel like a man. This is the kind of guy that is on the phone. He just said that you don't feel like a man when you live with your woman. I want everybody I'm gonna let that sit there. I'm gonna say it one more time. I'm not gonna say nothing. Living with your woman, you cannot feel like a man. Okay.
Why do you say that?
Completely. And then he says, right, thank you. But this is the problem I have with this. Melissa responded like that, I feel, because I hear a little bit of annoyance in her voice about what he's saying, right? I would prefer her to have more of a, are you stupid? The fuck are you saying? Tone. Hers tone was like, why you say that? That was more of her tone. It should be like, what? What? Why do you say that?
I thought I was being neutral. I thought I was being like, why do you say that? No, why do you say that?
I heard a little bit of like a...
Maybe like a tiny bit. And it's because I'm very defensive over time.
Yeah, so that's part of it. And it's just kind of like, bruh, what is that even? So then, another thing that he did at the end of it, right? He said some wild shit. And then you might have heard him go, right?
Yo, he did.
Right?
Yeah, he
right?
did that and then said right.
Because he wants her to know that he wants to know if she agreed with the wild shit that he just said. So that he could be like, exactly. But she goes, nah, what you mean by that?
Because, like, for example,
Silence.
That's my favorite part. He said, because, like, for example.
Bruh, I'm gonna play that back. 15 seconds. 38:33 right now of the audio. I'm gonna play that back 15 seconds to 38:17. 38:18.
And I edit out that laugh. That's just sounded wild.
I thought I was going to use on actual Ubers. But then when you compare the Uber prices, to go to work would be like $50. And Lyft would be like $32. I started
Wait,
Lyft
it fast forwarded mad far. I'm like, nah, that's not even close.
We had 9. We're only 9 minutes into this audio.
Mm-hmm. Never get that to feel like a man. Completely. You understand?
Why do you say that?
See, neutral.
Because, like, for example.
Silence.
In my situation, I don't have grandparents. I never really had a grandparent, grandma, grandpa. I don't know what it feels like. Because my mom's parents died when she was young. My mom had me at 21, and her mom died before she gave birth to me. My father died a couple years after that.
Okay, I'm gonna just put this here. This is one of those situations where people tend to overtalk again, because he said that I don't feel like you can really be a man if you live with your woman, and then started to explain as to why his mom doesn't have parents and why he never grew up with grandparents. And he's just talking. He wants to tell this story. Now, what I don't know is if he's telling this story to get some type of response from Melissa, some type of empathy or something, or if I don't think it's gonna tie into anything that makes any sense. But I just want you to know this: when people tend to overtalk, because she asked him a very specific question. If you have this thought, I would hope it came from something that you've thought about and processed before you came out your mouth and said something that crazy. So, what is your reason for saying that?
So, in her situation, really, she kind of just had to go through life by herself, and it kind of made her mature a lot faster than other people around her that had their parents to rely on. And so, it's the same kind of...
I can agree with that. I can agree that growing up without parents makes you more mature.
Your girlfriend's not your parent.
That is true. But I can definitely agree that growing up without your parents makes you more mature. But yes, what she said is also even more true, that your girlfriend is not your parent.
Dang it, no matter how much money I'm making or whatever, so long as I live with my mom here, can't be. It's like some type of like barrier you have to overcome. Because no matter what
with
you
your
do, still have
family
that safety net.
And your mother.
So I kind of want to not have that safety net, so that I can actually, like, you know how I'm saying 1800 is a lot, right? And you live with your person, And that's not 1800 you gotta worry about. It's just...
Okay, so you might have heard that. He said you live with your person, right? Me, I'm the person that she lives with. Now it's gonna come up later. I'm gonna see why it's important that he said this. You live with your person. You pay $1,800. That's a lot. You live with your person, right? Also, I wanted to point out that it seems as though he's conflating what the role of a mother and the role of a girlfriend are supposed to be, and I think that plays a significant role or problem in his life because he thinks that his girlfriend is supposed to be his mom, and I don't mean that, and maybe he doesn't in terms of he wants her to take care of him, but I think that in his mind he's probably been traumatized, and he thinks that he envisions that woman as his mom, so he feels like he can't do certain things because the only woman that he's been around that he couldn't do certain things was his mother. So he's put those two things together. He said, oh, she's a woman, we live together, I can't do things around her, mom must be a mom.
If you fall short, you can get your partner to back. When you know it's just you.
Did he say when he falls short?
He's saying that.
I know what he's saying. Did he say when he falls short?
No, when you fall short.
Okay, I'll make sure he said you and not he.
If you fall short, you can get your partner to
1021.
When you know it's just you. You can get the 1800 every month.
I feel like I heard he.
So that's kind of what I want for myself.
Yeah, let me know if you say he or you. I can't hear it.
To be mature in that way. And it's actually be a man. It sounds kind of weird, I guess. Like I'm doing it the hard way, but it seems like you also get decent, right?
I think that's a dig at me that he feels like I'm not a man because I live with my girlfriend. I think he was talking to me.
He's been trying to dig at you for like
I'm letting the audience know that's what's happening here. That's what he's trying. He's trying to AMOG me, right? So
I'm like, how that makes no sense. Yeah.
Like when you want to buy something, I could just buy what I want. But when you buy something with your girl, you gotta take into consideration, compromise,
he'll buy what he wants.
Like that. You know what I'm
saying? Not really.
You don't have to compromise.
So his problem is that when you buy something with your girl, you have to take her into consideration when you do that. And he feels like a man should not have to take into consideration what he's buying because he has a girlfriend. Now, if anybody listening, they might say what I'm saying. That sounds very childish to me. That doesn't make anything you do in any relationship, whether it be a friend, a mom, a girlfriend, a wife, a child, a parent, you have to consider people around you. That's just how it is to be alive. So to think that you can do things without considering anybody else's mentality is childish. However, this is why I felt like Melissa. This is why I was upset with Melissa when she went out at 5 o'clock in the morning and all the other stuff that happened. Is because you have to be considerate of all the people that you're attached to in your whatever dynamic you have with people. It doesn't mean you have to oversell yourself to them or you have to overextend yourself to them, but you should definitely consider it. To say to yourself that I don't want to have to consider what my girlfriend thinks because I don't feel like a man is what people now have coined toxic masculinity, because people feel like masculinity means I can do whatever I want, when I want, where I want, and ain't nobody can say shit to me. It don't work like that. That's not masculinity. Masculinity is being able to have control over yourself and your own being. That's what it is. It's not being able to be like, okay, fuck that person. I don't give a fuck. I'm going to do whatever I feel like doing regardless of everybody else. That's not what I believe a man should be doing.
Or females.
He don't want to compromise.
And
then again,
okay.
See, again, he asked, you get what I'm saying? Because he's saying some stupid shit. And he's like, Melissa, thank God, was like, nah, I don't get what you mean. No, that don't make sense. Explain this to me, please.
So, my experience.
And then this is what he just did right now. He asked her, do you have to compromise? Now, Melissa got caught up on this, right? Because what he did was, this is a thing that if people are in law or debates or things like that, I'm pretty sure the term to it, I don't know the exact term, but I know what's happening. And maybe it's it might be a false equivalency.
Okay.
It might be a false. He's trying to equate
something that's not true with something that's true.
Right. So he's saying that, do you compromise? Do you ever make compromises? Melissa's like, No, I'm gonna go with the first thing he said was. What was the first thing? It was
being that living with your girl will not make you a man.
Oh right, living with your girl will not make you a man because you have to consider other people. Then he goes, "Is that true?" And Melissa goes, "Nah." And then he goes, "You don't compromise?" And she's like, I'm gonna say it again. He said, "Living with your woman doesn't allow you to be a man because you have to consider her thoughts and compromise." And Melissa goes, "I don't really know if that's true." And he goes, "You don't compromise?" Now, the problem with that is, yes, Melissa compromises. Everybody has to compromise. That is how relationships work. You cannot have a relationship without compromise. It's just that's once you bring point person A and person B together, things are going to mesh. You have to go, okay, I used to do this thing by myself every day. Can I take some of that back and do a little bit less? Okay, I'll compromise on that. It should be an equal amount of compromise from both people for everybody to be happy. But if both people are trying not to compromise at all, you're not going to have a real relationship. It's going to just be people trying to either one up the other person, or people are trying, I'm not going to give you my cup because this is my teacup and I don't want to get you to use it. I don't want you to use my pencil. This is my pencil. I don't want you to sit on I bought this couch. You can't sit on my couch. These are the things that honestly, it's what children would do. That's mine. That's mine. No, don't have that. But the problem with what he did is, and Melissa falls for it, by the way, is once he said that, she goes, "Yeah, I compromise." He's probably gonna go, "Exactly. See, that's what I mean." And it's like, no, just because you compromise does not mean that you cannot have a healthy relationship with your wife or anybody else for that matter. Compromise is a part of relationships, but he does not know that because he does not have healthy relationships.
And I think another part of that too is that he's trying to get a yes out of me.
Yes.
He's trying to get me to say the statement yes, because if I say yes to the statement that he just made, which is a true statement,
yes,
he is trying to make it seem as if that will then in turn make the bullshit he said earlier a true statement as well.
Facts. That's a fact. 100% facts.
You know, living, because we've been, okay, first of all, I only knew my boyfriend for like 4 months before we moved in together.
Oh, see, I didn't say yes. I didn't say the words yes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Just throwing that out there. He gets me he keeps doing this over and over again throughout the conversation. So he gets me with it eventually, but this first time I didn't actually say the words yes.
There's that. And then, like, I met him 4 months before we moved.
This is me trying not to say yes.
And then moving in and everything like that. Funny enough, he's really like my best friend.
Yeah.
So we're kind of on the same page, and I think
it's like a driver's license test. When
you respect the person that you're with, then you don't really have that problem because there's no power struggle between me and him.
Melissa should have said, "What the fuck you said is stupid. What you said is dumb," and that does not relate to me. But I'm gonna tell you about my life though. That's Melissa's dead anyways. But
when you respect the person that you're with, then you don't really have that problem because there's no power struggle between me and him because we're working on the same things. Like, we're trying to get to the same goal. So it's kind of like, if let's say he wants to get this couch and I'm like, I don't like how the top looks. And then it's kind of like, okay, let's look at some other ones. If we look at other ones and it doesn't look like what we're going for, then it's like, okay, let's look at the first one again. And it's like that. There's no really like arguing about like stuff like that.
I get that, because that's usually what happens. But there's gonna come a time when he's in love with the couch.
Because he know he was saying right stuff. He wants you to be wrong.
He still loves the couch. In situations like that, what happens then?
I mean, with situations like that, it's kind of like, is it really that serious? Like, does it really, like, am I really bothered about this thing? Like, you have to weigh if that's something that's actually going to affect you and would be worth kind of making us think about. And even then, we pretty much just talk everything out. Like, there's no harboring bad feelings or like, or anything like that. It's more so if you think something, you just say it because that's what you thought.
But I don't think I was able to word it.
It's pretty much like that.
Because it's like,
so I haven't really
Because he's saying
we haven't had any issues like
what
that.
If you don't like the what if I don't like the couch and you're adamant about you getting the couch?
Kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
The way that I see it is kind of like, well then fuck it, I guess we're gonna get that couch. Like it's not that big of a deal. It's a couch. It's not, that couch isn't gonna make me feel bad. I'm not gonna have hurt feelings because of the couch. It's a couch. It's really not that serious.
Mm-hmm. I know what he's saying though. He's saying, what happens when I decide I want to do something and you don't want to do it? Mm-hmm. What happens then? And I think that when that happens, I'm pretty sure it's happened here. I don't really remember of times where it has happened, but I don't believe that I am that inconsiderate about something. And I feel like if I am making a decision like that, it's probably for the betterment of both of us. It's not a selfish thing. It's not, well, I like this couch, so I'm getting this couch. It's the couch gonna look fire in the house, and when the couch come here, you're gonna be like, shit, fire. And then the couch come, and usually it'd be fire because I have my interior design. I'm fire at that shit too.
But I also think that it really comes down to you have to pick and choose, because I feel like every single thing, something that I actually had to learn while we were dating is that everything I have to think about it in terms of how would this affect the relationship. Mm-hmm. So if I think of things in terms of that, I'll have to weigh how it affects the relationship, how it affects myself. And once I weigh those two things and what I think is right, then I'll be able to come to whatever conclusion it is. So example, like when we went shopping the other day and I wanted to take the escalator upstairs and you took the steps. Mm-hmm. That could have potentially turned into a problem. Mm-hmm. Maybe. Not because of me taking this, not because I took the escalator upstairs and because you took the steps, but the root of it, which is like my anxiety as to why I didn't go down the stairs. So I didn't think about that before I made that decision. So the only times that I really have that type of problem that he's explaining or he's alluding to is if I don't think about how it affects me, the relationship, and blah, 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 and what I think is right. So.
Yeah, I think that was I have nothing to add to that. I think Ariel's downstairs. Ariel's on her way. So you gonna see the time is 2:33. So how much?
I mean, this podcast might be a bit.
It's definitely gonna be long. But I want to see.
I'm saying what compelled you to move in with a guy after 4 months? Because I'm saying technically,
okay. See, I wanted to. We're gonna have to rewind that. Okay, this is the 1349. 1349. I'm doing 15 seconds going back to 1334 and action. Because I think this is a very important part. Remember, I said earlier, earlier he said you moving in with your person. That's what he said the first time. Now, it's now after Melissa has big up me, right? This is what he says next.
We haven't had any issues like that. No. So, trying to think.
What compelled you to move in because you know you only moved 4 months?
The question was, what compelled you to move in with the nigga after 4 months? That was the question that he asked. Okay, now as you saw, it went from person to nigga. I'm now person, this nigga. Why moving with this nigga after 4 months? Okay.
So by the 4 months time, Martin Young's already in.
Yeah. What happened? So I haven't really. We haven't had any issues like that. No. So. Trying to think.
What compelled you to move in because you know you only moved 4 months? Because technically moving after 4 months, that means y'all was talking about it.
I heard him. I just want to see if he's gonna say it again.
Right. So as you saw, when she said, "Huh," because this is what I be trying to say. People be pump faking. She probably. Oh, you did hear him.
Yes.
Okay. So she said she heard him, right? So. He said...
I laughed. I don't know if you heard it, but he said the N-word and I laughed.
I didn't know that's why you laughed. Yes. I thought you laughed because he said the 4 months thing and he was giggling about the 4 month thing. That's
No. I laughed because I'm
you
called him a...
That's what I heard.
No, that's not what happened. Because after he said that, that's when I laughed.
Yeah, but I thought you laughed because he was like...
No, I'm like, oh, you called him that?
I don't feel like that's why you laughed.
That's definitely why I laughed.
I don't think so.
That's 100% why I laughed.
Okay, so this is what I think happened, right? Because he said, what made you move in with... after 4 months. Mm-hmm. He said that means that 2 months in, y'all was already talking about it and you was giggling. So I think
no, he didn't get to finish what he was saying, cause I said, huh.
No. He said that part already. I mean, we play it back.
Third time. Rewind it.
Wait.
What compelled you to move in because you had your 4 months? Because technically you're moving after 4 months.
That didn't sound like a snicker. It sounded like a giggle.
Yeah, it was funny.
Okay. So 1335.
We haven't had
going
any
back.
issues like that.
Listen, it sounded like that to me.
No, so trying to think.
It was funny. Like, it was genuinely funny to me.
What compelled you to move in because you had your 4 months? Because technically you're moving after 4 months. That means y'all was talking about a 2 month stint.
Huh?
See, he didn't say that part yet.
I'm saying you had your 4 months. Because technically you're moving
Yeah, but I don't. I'm telling you, I don't think it was the N-word that made you laugh like that. Because that don't sound like that kind of laugh.
I'm saying what
It don't sound like that. That laugh don't sound like a. It didn't sound like that. It sounded like a. That don't sound like a funny laugh. It sounded like you was giggling. Like, cause you was like, yeah, I liked him so much after 4 months.
Huh?
I'm saying what compelled you to move in with a guy after 4 months? Because I'm saying technically,
And then
yeah, I was
he
talking
said
about
guy.
a 2 month stint.
Oh, and I did the same laugh again.
No. See? Nah. Nah. No. That's a different laugh. One. That was like a. The other one was like a. It's two different laughs.
I feel like the audio sound of it.
Nah, listen. Y'all listen to. Y'all can hear the laugh differences. I'm gonna play back. This is the last time I'm gonna play this part back. Was it 1335?
Mm-hmm.
We haven't had any issues like that.
Okay.
So,
We hear this.
trying to think.
Well, what compelled you to move in because you had your 4 months? Because technically you're moving after 4 months. That means y'all was talking about a 2 month stint.
Huh?
I'm saying what compelled you to move in with a guy after 4 months? Because I'm saying technically y'all was talking about a 2 month stint.
See?
That's
See?
not this. No, it's not the same thing. I know it's not the same thing. That laugh at the end was like, yeah, 2 months. We was already talking about that shit. It was not. Your laugh was not. Yo, check yourself. That wasn't that kind of laugh.
It wasn't a check yourself laugh. I thought it was funny that he used that word. I thought it was funny that he used that word to refer to you.
I felt it. I didn't hear that giggle. That was that kind of giggle. That's not what I heard. Either way,
It's not a about to get in that ass giggle. No, it's not.
that's what it should have been.
But that's
'Cause
not
you
what
said,
it was.
But you said huh afterwards. So the huh was you getting in that ass. But if the original laugh was to get in that ass,
That's what I'm saying. The original laugh was not to get in that ass. I thought it was funny because I know what he's doing. So I thought that was funny. Like, oh, you're gonna call, because he didn't start off the conversation being disrespectful. He started off, well,
I feel like
he dissociated you from me, but he didn't call you an N-word.
I feel like this happened after the first conversation we had about this. I don't think that you thought this was the first time you had listened to this. I don't think that's what happened. I think after we talked about it.
No.
All right, listen, that's not what I think, bro. But anyway, the part that I wanted to point out is that he said he called me the N-word first.
Yeah.
Then now what is this person?
I said, huh?
No, what did he say?
He said he
Guy?
called you guy. Yeah.
Now I'm guy. Once she said, huh? What did you say? Now he's like the guy you moved in
And
with.
I think it's funny because I didn't even say huh in a like a what the fuck you said way. I said huh, like I genuinely didn't hear him.
Right, but so why'd you say huh though?
Because I wanted to see if he would say it again.
Okay, so that's what I'm trying to say about girls. I need to put pressure on guys because they fold like this, and all she did was say huh. She didn't even. She didn't get crazy. She didn't check him. She didn't say, "Who? What? What are you saying? Like, why are you saying that like that?" She didn't say any of that. All she said was, "Huh?" And he immediately changed his sentence. The guy you moved in with. I didn't mean to call him the N-word. The guy. Right? I just want y'all to know this is women. Check your men. Check the men you're talking to. Men, stop trying to put on a facade. Be who you are. That's it. Say what you want. Say what you feel. Say with your chest. So, 1402.
Yeah, what happened? We spent a lot of time together. Like, the first date that he took me on was like fucking, what did we do? We went to an escape room, we went to the movies, he took me to a Thai restaurant.
Listen, I like to brag about
lounge,
Donovan.
and then we did a virtual reality place.
Validating.
And like,
I mean, not really, because he asked,
each date
but
we went on after that
she
was
wanted
like
to say
that.
it.
And then
You're fine. Because he asked. I think it's fine.
I guess we'll call it a third date. What happened? I was really
when
upset.
somebody asks, you can shit on them. When somebody asks you, shit on them. If they don't ask you, don't shit on them.
Okay.
That's how I feel like. If somebody asks you, why do you like him? Pull out your
dissertation.
Hear ye, and you start reading off the things. But if they say, "Hey, how you doing?" Listen, my boyfriend took me on 3 dates on the first. Now you being corny. That's weird. Don't do that. But if he asks, shit on him all you want to. Turn him into a toilet if you have to.
Because this is when the Travis Scott concert was going to be at MSG, and I really wanted to go, and I couldn't buy a ticket in time, and I was like upset, and I told him about it, and after that he bought us like an Airbnb and tickets to go see Travis Scott in Chicago, like airplane tickets, everything. So we flew out to go see the concert, and that was kind of a glimpse of us living together because that was the first time we like spent the night like by ourselves in our own kind of space.
So you find a good. I want a woman just like that.
Did y'all hear that? I'm gonna play it back and then I'm gonna say shit after.
You find a good. I want a woman just like that. Nah, this is what you've been wanting your whole life. Correct?
I mean,
no.
He wants a woman like you, Donovan.
Think about this. My man said to me. First he said, now it went from person to N-word to guy. Now I'm a man. Now you found a good man. You got a good man. He said, I want a woman just like that. Now, I don't even know what that means because I'm still not sure what he meant by that. But I told one of my friends about this, and he said maybe he was trying to play me in a sense. If somebody knows how, please explain it to me because I don't know. What I think happened was, once she did that, she made him feel really bad about himself. And he didn't know how to come back from that. So he just said, you know what? I need somebody like that. I need a woman to do that for me. But in saying that, you're pretty much saying you want a woman to fly you out somewhere to a concert and take you on multiple dates. Why would you want that? Why is that something you would strive for? Why would you tell a girl that you're trying to fuck that you want a woman like her man? What kind of shit is that? Who does that? What does that even mean? And these are the kind of guys that run around out here on the street talking to y'all, and y'all be having kids with them. Y'all be talking to them and giving them a time of day because y'all don't check them on this stupid shit. Check them on this dumb shit. Please, God, check them.
I mean,
like him?
pretty much. It's kind of like, it's one of those things where you didn't really know that that's what you wanted until you experience it.
Just say yes.
So that was like, yeah, that was just really cool. And what was that? I met him in October.
I couldn't say yes because it's what I just said. I didn't know that's what I wanted. How the fuck I was supposed to know that I need someone that will take me on 5 dates in 1 day and then fly me to Chicago? Like, how did I know that? How would I have known that that's what I wanted?
Kind of dark in here.
Until I met Donovan.
It's dark.
I don't know.
That shit is mad dark.
You can't change the ISO, so I don't know what you want to do.
Until you experience it. So
like,
that was like
that.
Yeah, that was just really cool. And what was that? I met him in October, and I think we went to Chicago in November. And then the plan wasn't for us to move in together. He was looking for an apartment, and he only wanted to spend $1,500 a month. And then I was looking, and I'm like, okay, I found this apartment. It doesn't cost $1,500. It costs like $1,800. Do you want to do this one? And he was like, nah. And I'm like, okay, I'm gonna pay the difference. Like, would that make a difference? And he was like, okay, sure. But I wasn't planning on moving in. And then I actually saw the apartment, and I'm like, okay, I want to move in. And then that's how that started. So, yeah. And then after that, yeah, after that we went to Italy, and that was pretty cool too. So it's just like, yeah, that's pretty much, we spent a lot of time together, and we spent like I know how he is, how he thinks, what he eats. It's just like, we're just very much together. I think the thing that really makes a difference with the relationship, though, is that
I was just talking.
If your whole day revolves around your partner, then it's not gonna work out because you're not your own person. So if you're in a relationship and the girl is kind of like waiting on your hands or foot, or the guy is doing that, and it's not really like a balance where like we spend time apart and then we also spend time together, then it's not gonna work out. It's gonna be too taxing on both people, where it's kind of like there's days where like it just feels like I'm having a sleepover with my best friend, because that's pretty much what our relationship is. And then, you know, there's actual like relationship part, but the lovey-dovey stuff, but it's mostly like neutral, so it doesn't really feel like you don't have to put on a girlfriend or boyfriend act every day, basically.
Mind you, I still be doing that shit.
So yeah. So I think that if you find the right person, it would still allow you to be yourself and be a man while moving out.
No, I mean, like, if I want to go outside,
like
I could just come back home and call the person, and they don't know if I just came.
You should have said something before then. Got me talking to myself. Like, okay, now you're not a man again. How about that?
And then you get the opportunity to miss the person. But, like, when you know you're going to see them later on, and the day is like, how much do you miss them unless they go away for a week?
You fix it?
Or for a weekend somewhere.
I didn't do anything. It's gonna when I
feel
sit
like
here, it's gonna make me
the
look
spark
darker.
alive a lot more. Because usually the girlfriend, boyfriend stage when you're not living together.
Time 15 seconds.
Already did.
Oh.
So yeah.
1807.
So I think that if you find the right person, it would still allow you to be yourself and be a man while moving out.
No, I mean, like, if I want to
See,
go outside, I can go outside.
you see how instantly he cut her off, because she said the evil. She said the Lord Voldemort term to a guy. Well, you're not a real man. If you want to be a man, you could do this. Once a girl says that to a guy, he instantly doesn't know how to act, because he's like, oh my God, I'm not a real man. It's like Pinocchio. Like, who could be a real boy? That's what happens, right? Now, she was talking for a long ass time, but he's the one that said he can't be a man when you live with a woman. So all she did was repeat it. He's like, nah. What I meant was, and then he goes on to say this.
Someone saying, where are you going? Or why you coming back home so late? Or what happened?
Like
I could just come back home and call the person, and they don't know if I just came on the side stage or whatever. And then you get the opportunity to miss the person. But, like, when you know you're going to see them later on, and the day is like, how much can you miss them unless they go away for a week or for a weekend somewhere?
Bruh.
I feel like it keeps the spark alive a lot more, because usually in the girlfriend boyfriend stage when you're not living together, since y'all don't really know when you next time you see each other, or you have to schedule time, it feels more valuable and more meaningful than when you know for a fact you're always going to have time.
My man's chatting right now.
Each other.
You have to say something.
Hey, Ariel.
Judging how it's going, I'm not married.
You got any panties lying around and your condoms on the floor?
because I want to have a nice wedding. So does he?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, what was the question? Oh, he said, why are we not married?
I'm not really. Like, we're not really in our.
Hey, Ariel.
Get married per se.
How's it going?
Like, I would like to have a certain net worth.
Oh, he asked you. I didn't even realize he did that.
Yeah, we are shooting a podcast.
We're shooting a podcast.
Yeah, I mean, you know, you can come say hi if you want to say hello. Say hi.
Okay.
Yeah, if you want to. It's up to you. So we're gonna have Ariel on the podcast in the future. We don't know which one yet. She's gonna have her own. Yeah. She'll have her own episode. So we are listening to a phone call that she had of a guy who called her, right?
Oh, I said it on the.
So do you know what she's talking about?
Yeah.
Okay.
We all know.
Right. So do you want to hear the audio on that end over there? while we do it over here. Because right now we're recording and I'm going through as he's talking to her.
What time do you have to leave?
Or
do you want to finish by?
Like 4:30.
What time is it now?
It's supposed to be 3.
How long does it take for you to do? We doing makeup?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
How long?
I'm not doing no crazy beat. It's just, you know.
Oh, okay. So probably like 45 minutes.
And you say you want to leave? You want to be done by?
4:30.
So I think we should be done by 3:30, 3:15, 3:30.
And then you're gonna go back home.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I think at 3:15, 3:30 should be when we can end it. At least if I do maybe a part 2.
Yeah, 3:15 should be good.
Okay. All right. So do you want to hear the recording?
Yeah.
Okay. So it's on Melissa's laptop. Can you set that up for her?
I'm not really like we're not really in a rush to get married per se. Like I would like to have a certain net worth before that happens.
Net worth?
Yeah.
Oh, net worth.
Mhm.
Oh, and how's the YouTube thing going?
It's going okay. It's work.
Yeah, I know you put your blood, sweat, and tears into a video, you get like 10 views, and you just upset. But
That's another neg. Blood, sweat, and tears into a video, you only get 10 views.
I got that.
Right. I just want y'all to know that's what's happening here.
like 200 views, I mean, more accurately.
Not
But you gotta keep
depends.
consistently posting and stuff.
But
You gotta,
as you saw how fast Melissa's response was, I'm talking, you could listen to. She's responding that fast because she feels insecure about what he said. So when he says, you pause it? You could.
No, I didn't pause it.
I was like, if you could pause yours because it's different from here. So she feels insecure about what he said, right? So she's like, nah, just gonna put my blood, sweat, and tears into it, I get 10 views. It's different. Every video is not like that. Some videos get more than that. That's what Melissa's doing right now. Another form of validation. If he feels like Melissa puts her blood, sweat, and tears into the videos and she only get 10 views, that ain't the truth. She has videos that have 1,000 views. Some have 500 views. Some have 200 views. Some of them do have 5 and 10 views. It's different. But she felt bad about him saying that. So she felt like I got to cut him off real quick so he can know that all my videos are not bad. You don't have to do that. Let him, oh, that's what you think? Okay.
I feel like,
Right. Just
just
that's what you think? Oh, okay. Oh, I'm poor? Oh, okay.
yeah, it's just like.
Whatever. So, and we're at 20:31. So you might have to go back like 30 seconds.
I'm at 20:52.
Yeah, you got to go back. Because I paused it when I would talk and then.
Oh, it's better to use the 15-second thing.
You talk, my fingers are already on it, and you know.
Okay.
That's good. So I'll tell you when to press it again.
you gotta keep consistently posting things, and you eventually break through.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right now, I don't think it's been a year yet since I've been doing YouTube. But we've been posting about 3 videos a week so far, and like it varies between 10 views to 200 views. We probably have one video that hit 1,000 views, but it's not a get rich quick kind of thing. It's just like if you just stay consistent, people are gonna come. So.
What is the channel about?
It's pretty much. So basically, the name of the channel is called the Bamboo Project.
I started chatting.
And
chatting a
that's
lot.
because of the way that a
Started
bamboo
talking
tree
way too
grows.
much.
So you'll plant it in the ground and everything like that. You plant the seeds in the ground and it doesn't grow right away.
You hear that nervousness?
I think it takes like 5 years before the bamboo tree starts to grow, and during that time it's putting its roots in the
Because you're
ground,
better
and
than him
then
and he knows
it
that.
shoots
He can't
up
feel
like
better about himself unless
exponentially,
he makes you
and
better
it looks
than
like
him.
it's growing overnight.
That's what I'm saying, yeah.
But
It's
it's just all the years of work that it put in, it finally pays off. And that's pretty much what the Bamboo Project is, where I'm taking the time to work on music,
Just be like,
clothing,
listen, it's for documenting my life.
myself.
It's not for them to understand.
Oh, press pause? Or if you were talking, 'cause I was on to.
Was it?
Yeah, what you were saying. You were talking.
Yes. Okay. No, because I hate talking about everything.
Okay.
But
I didn't even notice my shit be in my ear.
I feel like I feel like I've said this so much times to like so many different friends.
Mm-hmm.
But I just think, even for me, maybe I just say it repetition just fine. explain to everyone. Because there's some people that large goals, like let's say there's people that I won't even tell that I'm trying to make it to Congress. Because it'll be like, Congress, like that's big, like you really trying to get to Congress, like that's a lot. There's no need for me to explain myself to them because they're not in the same mindset as me.
Mm-hmm.
They're not in the same bracket, they're not in the same intellectual capacity. Like, it's just not necessary. So for you to try to even sit down and step by step trying to go through your vision with him, it's just like, you don't have to explain yourself to somebody that's, I don't want to say that's small, because that's, demeaning.
Listen, you haven't heard the whole audio. It's pretty accurate statement. Yeah.
It's hard, because it's like when people ask me what I do, or like what I'm trying to do, that's just automatic my brain goes to, like, what am I doing? So I need to, I don't know how to make that
It's an
smaller.
insecurity. No, that's not the case. Because if somebody asks what you do, I make videos.
Okay.
Or I do a lot of different things. Like, I depends
right.
on what day it is. Like, what I do today?
Because that makes, okay. Because I know that there's a lot more work that goes into what I'm doing than what it sounds like.
No, I wouldn't say what it sounds like. I think what it sounds like and what it looks like.
Yeah.
So, but again, I think it comes from insecurity where, because when you start over talking, because when I used to run game on Tinder way back in the day, I used to notice as soon as I would talk to a girl, I used to write them like my passion. As soon as I would do that, no more conversation. It'd be the end of it. It works more so on the phone, but if I text it, the convo dies immediately. I would try it. My friends would try it. It just dies immediately because it'd be a long paragraph. The girl, she had to read the whole thing. She don't really understand. She's like, I don't really think it's possible. You're a regular person. You can't really do those things. So I'm just going to not respond to you no more. Or the convo becomes really short. So that's what I know when I would do it. So I had to get comfortable with just saying I'm a bike messenger, or I'm starting a grocery company, or I don't have a job, or I work at Popeyes. Once you get comfortable saying that you work at Popeyes, you'll be comfortable saying I'm the CEO of Microsoft, because it's the same. You're saying where you are is what you're saying. I work at Popeyes. I'm a barista at Starbucks. That's what I do. Now I own Starbucks. That's what I'm not lying. I'm not saying too much or too little. I'm saying exactly what it is. I have 17 Starbucks in the city. That's what I do. I'm a franchise owner. But the thing is, I feel like you don't think that, and Pete, I haven't heard specifically, but people feel like where they are is where they're always going to be. And that isn't always the case, because if you're actually striving to do better, then where you are now is where you're going to be now. If you keep actually building on top of that, in the future, you'll be somewhere else. But people feel like, well, I'm here right now. If somebody makes fun of me right now, that's where I'm going to always be. And I think you have to remember that where you were last year is not where you were here. And even before that, where you were 3 years ago is not where you are now. So if you remember that when somebody talks to you like this, like, all right, cool, you think that ain't shit? When I move out, or when I have this, that, and the third, because he's going to shit on you regardless of what you have, because he feels like he's insecure.
He's uncomfortable. You told him something big that you're trying to accomplish, and he got uncomfortable because it's like, well, what the hell? I'm just trying to do this one thing, and you're trying to do this large thing. People get uncomfortable. Even like what Donovan said, like he told him a passion. For me, if somebody told me a passion, that's giving me insight into who they are, how they think. Mm-hmm. So I would rather you get in depth than you just tell me. But I understand why for a majority of people, they might get turned off by that, because it's just like, all right, well, damn, like, well, what do you say to that? Because a lot of people, they don't ask themselves those questions. They don't have the answers. They don't do that introspection. So, and
they don't have a passion that's that big. Exactly. They usually be like, well, I'm trying to, work be a manager.
Yeah. Bro, I said net worth, and it was silence.
Okay, so that was something. That was one of the first things that gave me an opinion about just everything. Okay. I'm just like, for me, I feel like just even that comment itself should have maybe like went into a small tangent, into a smaller conversation. But it's like that didn't interest him. That flew over his head. Like it was nothing.
Yes.
Yes. And I was just listening. Literally, I was sitting. I was like, That's what I was just like,
Right.
Literally, he was like, "Wait, you said net worth?" And I'm like, "Yeah, that's what I said."
Oh,
silence.
So I don't know if you heard before that. The reason that came up is because I think he asked, "Why are we not married yet?" Because we live here, and he's like, "Y'all should be married." She's like, "No, why? Because we live in the same house." So, but yeah, a lot of things. This is what I'll do in those kind of topics or those situations. I will give what can I call that? I guess a small dose. I'll give a small dose where I'm like, yeah, I want to work for Congress. Or no, I want to work in politics. That's what I'll say, right? Yeah. And if the person goes, oh, okay, that's cool, That's it. Combo's done. That's it. I'm not gonna tell you.
I think I did what he did earlier, which was I tried to answer the question before he asked it.
Insecurity.
Yeah, because I know that immediately after I say, "Oh, I do YouTube or I do this or I do that," he's gonna try and come and try to tell me how I should do what I'm doing, what I should do, and he did that shit anyways.
Right. So what you did didn't help.
It didn't. He did that shit anyways. I was like, he not dead ass.
So that's that. But I'm gonna press play again.
Okay.
We're at 22:04.
Okay, we're just gonna press play and then we're gonna
Okay.
You dropped the album?
Nah, not yet.
No mixtape.
Nope.
Yeah.
Were you in the studio working?
Kinda. I have a mic and stuff set up here. So, but basically, the YouTube isn't. I'm not trying to be a YouTuber or get YouTube famous. The YouTube is just kind of like a documentary of what I've been working on. Yeah. So when it comes time, when everything starts paying off, when I'm making my own clothes and modeling it and this and that, fitness and all that stuff, people are able to see that it's not an overnight thing and that anyone can pretty much do anything that they want to do as long as they put the work in. And that's pretty much what the YouTube is about.
Nothing.
Nothing. Myself, but I don't know. I feel like whatever I talk about will be too controversial. And then someone try to take my license from me. Because I like more controversial topics, the stuff that you can get censored to talk about. Those type of things I gravitate towards, which I guess is crazy. But
You hear what he's saying?
I find the most interesting.
Yeah, he's saying that he wouldn't do YouTube because he's too controversial for YouTube.
Like what?
Well, for example, like coronavirus. Well, this is not exactly what I was talking about. Like, for example, coronavirus is something that's been heavily censored on YouTube. If you see it, you get shadow banned / demonetized. You know that? But, did you know that?
Yeah.
See?
We
Boom.
have a couple.
Boom. Okay.
We talked about this before.
Right. This is the conflating two different I guess sentences or thoughts, right? So what he will do is he'll say something like, if I go outside and it's raining, I'll get wet. That's why I cheat. Right? right? So, and then if I say that to you, you'll be like, what? Right? No, I'm gonna say it to you. Okay. Ariel, if I go outside and it's raining, I'm gonna get wet and I'm gonna cheat.
Like, what does that have to do?
So you're telling me if you go outside, you get and it's raining, you won't get wet?
Yeah.
Exactly. See, so you cheat too. Exactly.
It's like,
And it's like that's exactly what he do.
that's a slippery slope. You just
Right. Right. And that's what he's doing here. Where the first question is, what was he saying? Oh, the controversial thing about YouTube, where he feels like he can't talk about. He doesn't want to make a YouTube because he was too controversial. He'll talk about things getting pulled down off of YouTube because he was talking about the coronavirus, right? And it's like, yes, certain content will be demonetized on YouTube if it's depending on what you're saying about the coronavirus. If you're saying that it's causing certain stuff, if you're saying misinformation that can hurt people, they'll take it down, right? However,
it doesn't make it controversial in itself.
Otherwise, it would be nothing on there about the virus. It would nothing would be on there at all. If that was the case, but she didn't say, she said yes.
Too nice.
So she made him feel like what? She made him feel like, oh, okay, yeah, that's true. I am right. And it's like, no, sir. Some videos, depending on what you're talking about and how you're talking about it, may get pulled down, as well as other videos that have nothing to do with that at all. There are videos that can be talking about a lot of crazy things, or not even crazy things, that get demonetized or taken off the channel. On top of the fact of is, what makes you think that you're gonna get on YouTube and people are gonna watch your videos? Like that you will have enough video or people or viewers to then go, you know what? We gotta demonetize him because too many people are watching him. It's like, come on, fam. It don't work like that. They have conspiracy theories all over YouTube. They have all types of murder and maybe not murder as much now. It's a wild place on there. I saw a nipple there the other day. Like 4 nipples popped up in the air. So, but this is what I'm saying. So when you conflate those two ideas like that, because if you're not wary of what's happening, you'll say yes to that, and then the person will feel like, yeah, I was right.
But I be trying my hardest not to say yes, but it's not a completely wrong statement.
So then you don't say anything because he's fishing for you to say something to make him feel right, because that's what he keeps going. right? Yeah, right. And you like, no. That's it. No. Let him ask you why not. And then you can explain to him, because this is the reason, this and that. This is for anybody listening too. You go, let them somebody say something to you that's crazy, right? And when they're about to drown and they're sent let them keep drowning. Let them drown.
Yeah, I like to argue. I'm a Debbie like, that don't make sense.
You just be like, okay, that's what you think?
That makes sense.
And they're gonna be like, you don't believe that? Are you finished?
I'm still working.
That's stupid. That's dumb. Don't make that.
I'm still working on it.
So,
the confrontations.
So that's that. But yeah, so I'm gonna press play and go.
Oh no, what I do?
Oh, 2352. I feel like they should let you type it in. Oh no, that's gonna take too long. Yeah, just go back to 23. Yeah, keep going.
It's very hard to do things with nails right now.
You're almost there. 20. One more. Okay, 2352. Yeah, that's perfect. All right, and go.
Videos about the coronavirus, and some of them, depending on the title, do worse than others. I've noticed. So, and I've seen other people talk about it.
I'm pretty sure you're bigger video.
Yeah, but I feel like there's some people who would care so heavily that they wouldn't even talk about it. So, but I would still try to talk about it. There's some people that I watch on YouTube who they do Patreon / what is it called, super chats or something like that, where a person can watch the video live stream and give you like $5, $10, $20, whatever they want while you live stream as their way to generate revenue, and YouTube demonetizes them. So I was saying, if I'm going to be controversial, I'll probably just do that. But I don't even know how any of it works. Yeah, do all this off of a MacBook Pro.
Can you pause that real quick?
Yeah.
All of that to say, I don't know how any of this stuff works. To be able to go and say how you should do your YouTube channel, what you should be doing, why I don't do it, how YouTube works. Man, I don't even know how this shit work, honestly. I just be talking about my ass because I feel like if I say it to you and you believe me, I'm going to look better. That's why I'm going to say these things. And it's like,
making you doubt what you're doing, and it's like, you don't even know.
He don't even.
What's going on? Like, I'm sitting here, he's talking about, just like talking about monetizations and demonetizing. And it's like, you said before, like, you're not here for the YouTube fame. This is here more as a documentary. And he's just like, well, and just.
Right, he's just like, yeah.
I don't even
think he's talking about validation for himself. Like,
yes, he wants her to validate him.
I don't even think he understands that in order to get demonetized, you have to be monetized first.
Yeah,
like,
crazy, because I said that in my head a couple minutes ago. I was like, who said he was even gonna get?
That's what I'm
like he just skipped a whole step to just
right.
I'm like, okay, I mean,
he needs 4,000 watch hours and 1,000 subscribers. Talking about what? The coronavirus every day? That's gonna talk about every single day? We better find something else to talk about because that's gonna get old real quick. So,
mind you, just to point it out, we're almost 25 minutes into this conversation and he has not mentioned his baby or his girlfriend.
He has a baby
and a girlfriend.
He has Is the baby mom the girlfriend?
Yes.
Okay.
So, yeah, right now. Oh, did you see the first text?
I don't think so.
Okay, let me just pull up and see real quick. We're 24:43.
He has a child. Wait.
The child not born yet. It's on the way.
I thought it was born.
No. So why did he contact
Is it
you?
CK?
That's a great question.
Wait, we got you right now. Here. You want to come?
Like on the big screen.
Okay.
This is such a big TV. Wow. When did he get the girl pregnant? So this is like the baby is being like grown in his stomach.
Yeah.
Wow. Trifling.
And they're dating right now.
Like what?
As he has a girlfriend.
That's so upsetting.
And he knows that I have a boyfriend and live in my apartment with my man. He's aware of all of these informations.
I don't want to get into that tangent, but I have an opinion on like why guys do that.
Okay.
We're not gonna get into that. No.
Oh wait, wait. What things? What are you knowing about?
Oh, about just why guys feel the need. Well, some guys feel the need to still venture out, pursue certain things when they're either in a relationship, and especially when they have a child on the way.
Mm-hmm. Oh, you missed this part. He said that he does not want to move in with his girlfriend because he feels like it won't allow him to be a man.
Yeah, that's honestly like
Yo, you heard it before.
ties into. Girl.
Oh.
I don't know what this is a whole mess.
Yeah.
Wait, who have you heard that from? Like, you've heard somebody say that before?
I've just talking to friends. I've just heard
these kind of thought processes.
Yes.
So.
He still got feelings for you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he misses her with a red. So that's the same guy.
When was the last time you spoke to him? Before this, like before that, I miss you. Years.
Oh, I mean, before we started talking.
Yeah, definitely before we started talking.
So before me and her met.
No. I think he hit me up after that to congratulate me on my life, basically.
Mm-hmm. That makes sense.
How like you're doing? I see how you're doing, and blah 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 blah.
I got a little theory. He was close.
Okay, so that is that. So you can go. Can you link hers again?
Can you? Okay, so you're at 24:44. Okay, and go. Oh.
I think I hear it. That's why I was like, wait a minute.
All right. So press the 15-second back button. All right, right there. I'm gonna press mine, and then you press go now.
Yeah. I use Final Cut Pro to edit the videos.
Do you have an iPad Pro too? Do you have an iPad Pro too?
No.
You should get it. Most of the developers is that they start to use the iPad Pro more. You get more leeway to do things, and it's actually more powerful than the MacBook. Unless you got the really expensive 16-inch one, then that's the only way to be more
You should
powerful.
be buying clothes,
Like
buying diapers.
upload
He's saying, "Oh, press pause."
but yes,
So he just told.
What I do? Where go?
That's good.
Yeah, that's fine. Okay, so he's trying to. It's an authority thing again. He's trying to appeal to the authority in this relationship or in this dynamic, where he's trying to say, okay, I know more than you. I know. Right. He's always trying to teach her something because he feels like that's the only way he can validate himself or make himself feel better. Exactly. Because he has no value or worth to her at all. But he's like, if I could tell you about an iPad Pro. Right. And he's talking about, he said, do you do your work on a MacBook? She said, yeah, I do. No. I don't know what he said, but you said I use a MacBook, I use Final Cut Pro. He was like, but do you have an iPad though? Do you have an iPad Pro too? And she's like, nah. Well, you should get that because developers be using that and you can upload your stuff faster. Now, I don't know.
This is just a side case.
Right. And I'm just like, these are the kind of guys that women be talking to. And I don't understand. Like, I just want women to know the ways to get around this. What happened?
No,
Oh,
I'll send it to you.
right. So I'm like, he's going to keep doing this because he does not have any value to Melissa. Now, the problem with all this whole conversation, because it started off on a bad foundation, is that if he came, it started off with, I want to ask you some questions about certain things because I want help. But as soon as he's on the phone, it's, you should be doing this. You should be doing that. Do you know about this? Do you know about that? Hey, let me help you with it. Because he's trying to make sure that he's above her and that she feels like she's below him. So when she feels like that, now she feels like, okay, when I need information, I can go to him for it. Because listen, that's how you end up having sex.
Now
See? Exactly. See? That's what I said. You end up having sex. It's like,
How would just with a...
that's what be happening. You be like,
really like,
you know about iPad Pro 2? Now you fucking. That's how it goes to. iPad Pro 2 to fucking.
Like, oh, like, you know, when can you link that I want to see you? And then it's like, if you were just, you know, a layman, we're just like, all right, whatever. Then you link him. Now y'all link him.
Exactly.
twice a week, and now y'all fucking.
Right, exactly. Because, and that's what I'm saying. Girls need to be hip to this kind of stuff because I want girls to be with great guys and I want guys to be great dudes. The problem is there are ain't shit dudes like this and then they are trying to talk to ancient girls, and the ancient girls fall for this. And I'm like, listen, girls, stop falling for this shit. Stop falling for this nonsense. And dude, stop doing the bullshit. This is annoying to me when I see this. So how much do we got? You want to stop now? Or you want to keep going? 45 minutes. You say 4:30, right? I mean, we can stop now. So this is episode.
Damn.
What happened?
Cause there was this. Oh, there's a part that I really wanted to.
Do you know what timestamp is that?
No. Fuck. Cause I wanted to get to the part where he finally asked me what you do.
All right, so I'm gonna press play and see if it comes up.
Huh?
I'm gonna give another
So
5.
I got it covered though, so you should have changed it.
Oh.
You heard that Joe Rogan? He was a podcaster, and he signed like I think that's a $300 million contract with Spotify.
Mhm.
Yeah, and I was like, yo, there's some serious money to be made. You get to a certain level in this, because he set the precedent for anybody who's a podcaster to be able to achieve a certain amount of wealth.
Yeah, this man.
If they put in enough time and have enough of a following. You don't have to get 300 million, but if you make 300,000, that's more than enough for some people.
Yeah. Would you be interested in doing a podcast?
Let him drown. let him drown.
Yeah, like.
She gonna
Yeah,
say
like I said, I like to talk about controversial topics. Some of my favorite
should bring him on.
things to watch on YouTube are podcasts. That's talking about topics. I watch a lot of stuff on people talking about marriage, relationships, finances, things like that. Things where I feel like I need a little bit of guidance or a different perspective on is important for me. I feel to watch to educate myself. And psychology. I like to watch Jordan Peterson and Joe Rogan's. When they talk, Jordan Peterson is a psychologist on a doctorate level, I believe. He has a book and everything.
But he
But when he talks, you see a lot of things that when you replay our movie gems.
All the books that he don't read.
We didn't get to that part yet.
It makes a difference.
Do you read?
I actually bought a lot of books. Like I went on YouTube and I typed in the books that changed my life, and I watched like 15, 20 videos, and let's say it's a top 5 for everybody, and the ones that are repeated in most of the videos, I just buy those. I haven't read them, but I probably will start reading them.
Which
Or I might
books
get the
did you read?
audiobook.
My man has not read
Which
the
books
books that
did
he's
you
telling
get?
Melissa to buy.
One person I like watching on YouTube, I forgot, his name is Graham Stephan. He talks about finances a lot, and he recommended Think and Grow Rich, which is a book that changed a lot of people's lives. And I think that I bought The Richest Man in Babylon, The 48 Rules or Laws of Power or something like that. 4-Hour Work Week. The Alchemist and Kobe, those 3 novels.
That's like insecure guys buy it.
So they could
He didn't even
I
read
read
it.
The Alchemist.
yes, to be able to say.
Yeah, I read The Alchemist, and I
Press space bar. Press space bar. I want to see if that works.
So I feel like, so from what I've seen, and from who I've seen buy the book, it's usually guys that I know that are insecure in themselves and in their masculinity that are looking for that book to provide them with instructions on how to just become a powerful guy. And I'm not saying that like you can't get that from the book, but I feel like if you don't go into that book with a very either strong or determined mindset and a very strong sense of who you are already and how not the book can make you, but how it can advance you instead, then I just feel like it just becomes a crutch for their personality. Because they just blindly follow the rules and they don't understand really. First of all, did he say he read it?
No.
That book? Okay.
The 48 Rules of Power.
Oh.
That's the 48 rules of, or something like that. That's what he was saying. That's his quote.
He ain't touched the books.
I just feel like a lot of guys use that as a crutch for their personality, and they don't know how to properly wield power, like how to attain. Like
So
I've seen a lot of misuse of that book, and it's just because that's one of my favorite books. So it's just like.
So one of the things I don't like about that, I'm not gonna say I don't like about the book. One of my things about that book is that I feel that people, for me, when I read the book, I didn't even know what the book was for. I never heard of it. I just was like, oh, let me find this book, I'm gonna read it, right? As I started to use the book, I felt like there's no way I can live my life by this book. It doesn't make any sense to try doing that. But what it taught me is that if you apply those rules to yourself, a lot of them, applying them to your own being, not to like, oh, how can I inflict power over somebody else, you'll get a lot further. And one thing that I like about the book is that I like to use it to know what other people are doing, because you'll see a lot of stuff where people are doing things and you're like, oh, that's why. Okay, that makes sense. Because I'm like, why are you acting like that? And then I go, okay. And a lot of people read the book and, like you said, they'll try to implement it in their life as like, this is my law. I need to do these things. And I go, okay, I know, because in the book it has what to do and then how the law doesn't work.
Or properly used.
Yeah. So I was saying applying the book to yourself, and then when other people are using it, you can actually see like, okay, I see what you're doing. And I see the holes in what you're doing, because it's coming from a disingenuous place. You're not actually trying to understand the laws. You're trying to be like, okay, I feel insecure right now. How can I use these laws to feel more confident? It's like, no, the confidence comes from what you do in your daily life as to improving yourself. Actually, so this is going to be the last part of the podcast. Okay. Actually, I'm going to go to 30 minutes. I'm going to just go to the last minute and 15 seconds. And go. Oh, nope. Press the 15-second back. Yeah. And then press play.
Also read the 4-Hour Work Week. And those books are pretty good.
What you learned about 4-Hour Work Week?
The 4-Hour Work Week, I feel like, is it's very easy to kind of like put into motion if you already have like a business idea, or if you already have something that you're working on. It'll kind of give you the steps to take to do whatever it is you're trying to do. So I think that book would be like pretty good. It has like little prompts and stuff to get you out of like your comfort zone and stuff like that. So it's pretty good it's pretty good to give people a different perspective, or to show how to automize making money. So like get a.
What is your boyfriend do for a living?
He does deliveries, so like Uber Eats, Caviar.
So he's a frugal guy.
Yeah, so let's get back to
What do you mean?
Because I don't know, some of the stuff he said he be doing, he must have a good portion of money saved up, or he literally prioritizes those things over other things. And so he doesn't even spend much money on clothing like that, right?
So.
The way he was talking, I thought he was like an engineer who did that math for it.
So do you think that he doesn't make a lot of money because he's a delivery person?
No, I thought that. No, I'm saying I probably overestimated how much he was making.
So how much do you think that? Okay, so like before I told you what he does.
No, engineers make a lot. Engineers make more than me. Make more than doctors before they become in the profession after like 7 years.
Yeah, I understand. I just wanted to get like an idea of like how much you thought he was making.
I don't know. You can be a workaholic, or you can work minimum hours.
Okay, and pause.
Do you have a number?
There. So he wants to know how much I'm making. We're gonna save that part for next episode of the podcast. This is where it starts to get a little bit spicy. So I was thinking about this during the podcast. Mm-hmm. Would you like to call? And I'll bleep his name out and ask him if he wants to be on the podcast.
Sure, that would be.
I think that would be a very good.
Chest. I don't know. My chest. Ooh, anxiety.
He might not answer the phone. I mean, his phone might be broken, so like you said.
Bro, that part annoyed me a lot.
I feel like he's gonna leave this podcast.
Listen, I feel like, yes, I'm asking you. What did you?
I mean,
I don't have his number.
Sure.
Okay.
Ariel's gonna have to be here though.
Okay, sure. You want to call him?
Oh, what? You want me to call him right now?
Yes. Let's see if he would like to be on the podcast. I'm not going to say anything.
Okay, so just be like, hey,
Yes.
I'm from the podcast. Would you like to be a guest?
Hello?
We've been trying to reach.
Okay. I'm gonna
Bruh.
call. Oh,
Would he be at work?
Might be.
maybe.
So, like I said, I would like to have him on the podcast. I think that would be a great conversation because I would like to ask him, why is he doing that? Why do you have a child on the way? You have a girlfriend and you are trying to, I don't even date, talk to, have sex with somebody else, a girl who has a boyfriend.
That's I'm like.
I mean, what-
exactly
People
anxious,
get like
but
thrown with like their actions. I feel like
100%.
I feel like a lot of times people act and they really don't think about the processes or the reasons behind the actions.
Mm-hmm.
So for you to really sit down and like, you already dissected what he did, why he did it, whatever. So for him to come and you just ask him like the real in-depth reasons why he's doing things, that poor child.
Yeah, because I'm like, this is what I think will end up happening.
oh my gosh.
Because
That's
I'm
what
not
saying.
I don't plan on doing it in a way to make him feel like I'm attacking him.
No,
Because,
no, it's
right,
a question- it's a
right.
question
I'm
on
curious
action.
But
why.
it doesn't have to do with anything that you do.
No.
It's literally.
But people ask those questions and they say it in a tone that's like, yo, why are you doing that? I want to be like, why, like, what is the reason? Yeah, right, like, why, what's the reason that you did that? Do you not have, you have a girlfriend and you have a child, why would you do that? Like, I don't understand, I genuinely don't understand.
I'm really doing that to people. I'm like, okay, but why? Like, I'm not asking you, like, just literally why.
Mm-hmm.
Your actions, why?
So I would like to know because, and again, there are other things that I heard during this phone call that I think I would want to address as far as him and his mother. He feeling like he can't live with a woman because he can't, whatever, his mom didn't have parents and he didn't have grandparents and things like that. I want to talk about these things if he comes on the podcast, which would be
Yeah, I mean, knowing him, he'll probably text me maybe or might call me another time.
Okay. So that is episode 16 of the Bamboo Project podcast. You will hear the rest of this audio next week.
Ooh, let's get to the part. I ain't like this part. I ain't like it.
So
I
he
ain't
got
like
a cliffhanger. So, oh yes, Instagrams. Mine is Donovan Gray, DONIVANGRAY. You can find me on Instagram and Twitter, those same handles. And Melissa's Instagram is
Anita Byrne.
ANETA.
VURN.
And all of the podcast and titles that we have, all of the Instagram names, will be in the description below. And we have a guest today, Ariel.
No.
And you want to say Instagram name? It's up there.
Lyra.
It's Lyra Lee, LEIRA.LEE2_.
Okay, and I'll put that in the description of the YouTube video and of the audio for the podcast. So, Bamboo Project out.